Let's get it caffeinated and ready to dominate a Tuesday in the good land. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, the iHeartRadio app streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew, Billy, and Armin, it's a buy or sell Tuesday, but it's also a giveaway Tuesday. The bosses have let us know that we will have some tickets to give away in the 7 o'clock hour. It'd be an exciting development, a concert announcement, and some tickets to give away for the boys here.
I like this. They're entrusting us with the announcement, and I like a little bit of a tease as to where we get to go and who we get to send somebody to potentially coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. And as we get one day closer to a ceasefire in the Giannis trade discussions, or maybe we've just fully shifted, Drew, because late overnight, I guess there was somebody doing some research on the gentlemen's establishments outside of Cleveland, Ohio, from a number near the Intuit Center, because I can only imagine number one is going to want to know where he can be going in the Cleveland area if that's where the NBA trade winds have shifted here.
What's
a couple days before the deadline?
Oh, like the James Harden honey bun establishments?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, Gary Payton establishments? Is that those type of establishments? Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's what we're looking at. The Harden and Giannis have some beef, right? They're not buds.
Not buds at all. No.
Harden's like, why is he getting all this run? I need some.
Talk about me getting traded.
But the Clippers have been playing well. It's like that's like they need him. Harden's been playing really well.
Playing well, and instead, as a tale as old as time, as a great movie once sang and rang a song that played for generations, tale as old as time, this man will never be happy. James Harden he'll never cease to amaze me how angry he can be with success and how frustrated he can be and disappointed he can be.
That's a good point.
When he starts playing well, his team starts playing well, and realizing that, no, now I need to push the accelerator down and get mine and be upset about an additional $80 million that he's potentially making. You're right. Clippers are playing well. And instead now he's saying, wait, I'm not going to get my extension. Get me up out of here.
Yeah, he's 36, 37. So I was waiting always for him to approach the era of his career where he was starting to become like, have a little more gratitude and be like the funny, wily old vet that was enjoying the process. And it looks like there's a few guys that will never get there. He's one of them. Maybe Kawhi, but we don't really know because he doesn't really release anything about his personality. But, Draymond Green obviously is constantly going to be upset and aggrieved about stuff. So that's just the way it is. I mean, that kind of marked the personality of that era of players a little bit. Always constantly upset about having to make a lot of money playing basketball. That's what it seemed like to me. So
could not agree more. Yeah. A hilarious one for him.
And Harden he's one of those guys that is confounding because you can't look at him and look at his record and his stats and not say he's a great player.
Oh God, yeah.
But in the ring culture and just in culture, like what's he done? He just hasn't had it.
Oh my goodness. And he is the epitome, Drew, of what most people would say of just a sheer regular season player. His numbers during his MVP candidacies are A1. Like his scoring run, he had like 30 consecutive games of 35 plus point games.
Yeah, it was 36 points a game a year.
It was incredible, the kind of numbers he was putting up. However, his game 7 numbers are the greatest barometer of being able to shrink to the nth degree, to the temperatures we saw last week type shrinkage in game 7s for James Harden. And he does it every single time. And it's a beauty and a beautiful part of the NBA playoffs is that it seemingly always happens. You can set your clock to Harden is going to get into a game 7. And luckily the Bucks were only one beneficiary of it back in the run against the Nets, because he decided that he was going to play on that pulled hamstring and do a James Harden game 7 and help you out by not allowing a healthy player to go out there for the Nets and potentially change the tide. It is a beautiful mystery, Drew, because his talent is exceptional. But even when they were on that Oklahoma City team, and understandably so, wanted to be more than a 6th man, was not happy going to the NBA Finals and growing with two of the better young players of all time, and Russell and Durant. It's a hilarious NBA life.
It would probably shock people because, James Harden, because of his lack of success and titles and parades and stuff like that, people think, he's not that great, right? he just passed. He just moved into the top 10
Top 10 all-time scoring.
His counting numbers
in the
are
league.
insane. Yeah.
He passed Shaq and Carmelo Anthony. Now, Carmelo's another guy that people would say, was he that great? But it's funny because who's the current great quarterback without a title? Like Josh Allen is the guy that
I would say
if you're an MVP level player and don't have a title, because in the NBA, I think of
Josh and Lamar are the two right now.
Josh and Lamar. I got they're at like the peak of their powers. They're not done yet by any stretch. And I'm old enough to remember Elway didn't win till the last 2 years of his
Phillip
career.
Rivers would be the closest thing to somebody whose career is fully over.
Karl Malone, one of the all-time greats, never won a title.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Russell Westbrook and Harden, two of the greats of their generation, dominant forces, unstoppable, never won a title. Barkley's in that discussion too. Yikes. It's just wild.
There's an amount of guys that go ahead, Billy, but there's a lot of guys that were blocked during that era. Yeah.
Yeah. In this era, you look back on the guys that got blocked by two dudes, Steph and LeBron, right? One on the East and one in the West. And the only guys that ultimately got the titles, like KD, were the ones that went and joined them and were able to play alongside, because it's a sport that's always been predicated on dynastic runs and 4 to 5 year stretches of just sheer dominance. And that's where I think the landscape is adjusting right now to, 7 consecutive seasons with a new NBA champion, 8 consecutive years with a new NBA champion. But I think only one of them, the Lakers, after they won it in the bubble, have even gone back to the conference finals in their title defense. So there's a reason and an understandable question in, I think, the landscape of the NBA to be like, we need to find somebody to be that team. We need to find somebody that's going to go and make that one move to put them over the top. And that's where the Giannis conversation, I think, Drew, has had such a drumbeat in like the teams like Oklahoma City, but they're building them a different way. And you're seeing, I think, another shift away from how teams were built in the 2010s. Harden was a big part of that, because it was just like, you know what, actually not good here, I got to go somewhere else. Not good here, I got to go somewhere else. And it feels like the league is swinging that pendulum completely along the other side, where teams just aren't as complicit in it as much.
Yeah, and there's probably a little more parity, right? For a while, it was the super team era where you load as many stars as you can on one team. And I think the apron changed all that. So then it's like, how do we rebuild in a different way? The Thunder have been a good blueprint, obviously, in getting, the star plus a bunch of really young, good, talented pieces that are, that in the aggregate are all really good. I don't know what the efficiency guys, right? In the analytics here, right? They know how to 3-and-D. They know how to, defensive efficiency, all those things. And it's not just like, let's find as many stars as we can to slam onto the court with the most points per game next to their name.
It's the old, do you win more titles with James Harden or Peyton Pritchard?
That's it right there. I asked Caitlin Clark about that one, but that's part of it.
Or TJ McConnell.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the
role players,
the guys that are legitimate role players that you're paying $15 to $18 million a year to, $20 million a year to, who are like the middle class of the sport, and the salaries change. When you talked about the aprons, Armin, where the ability to just put 3 perennial all-stars together and just figure it out with the rest of the roster doesn't work as much anymore. And that I thought that was a really, really quick and sudden change to the CBA rules, where all of a sudden you saw after that Celtics title, right after the Bucks fell short in their title defense, Drew, that was the last team that was really just going to be able to stockpile contracts and still add to it come deadline time.
It's funny because of the way stuff is processed, that again, with the ring culture, like think of your favorite players who have never won a championship in baseball and in basketball. There's a lot of guys in football. If guys don't win titles, we don't talk about them as much, and they're not
unless they're
like,
quarterbacks.
Unless they're quarterbacks for sure. And because that was my rant back in the day. People would talk about Eli Manning being great. I'm like, what's Ray Lewis's playoff record?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know.
About 500.
Yeah,
a little
it's like,
under.
what is it? Like, but why is that hung with any quarterback,
Sure.
but you don't have the star on the other side? We just saw with the Packers how important like losing Micah Parsons was like losing a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win without him. That was exactly like.
Yeah, no one's going to talk about like Jonathan Taylor never getting a title.
But
like, he's a great running back, but that's not what people do in this
Mike
league.
Trout is, a generational great counting stat guy.
Yeah.
No ring, not
Played
even
in like
sniff.
3 playoff games.
Not even a sniff of playoff success, right? But in the NBA, you could field a really great team of some of your favorite posters on the wall, like Barkley, going back to Barkley, Karl Malone, the mailman with the big truck, right? Harden, Westbrook, MVPs, triple doubles, averaged a triple double.
Yeah.
Vince Carter.
Another good one.
Patrick Ewing.
McGrady.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all those guys. Yeah.
There's a ton of guys. There's a ton of guys in the NBA who had shoe lines and were just massive stars
Dominic
and didn't have to win a title.
Yeah.
Dominique.
All these guys were stars. Yeah.
You can do it, I guess. It's just it's processed differently.
Yeah, and the other one, the one that came here in chase of it was Dame a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it does feel, though, like we try to discuss it. Maybe it's just more at the national level, Drew, and hammer home the titles because there's so much more impact that just one individual player can have on it. But I mean, I also think it speaks to the greatness of the guys that all of those dudes, right, that we just mentioned, that's like 3 guys in their all-time generational runs that blocked those teams from getting home. Yeah. Whether it was LeBron in Cleveland and Miami or Golden State with Steph, and then obviously Jordan in the 90s just was continually batting down the Ewings and Barkleys of the world and the Stockton Malones. Yeah. And there's been runs, and I mean, we throw Kobe and Shaq in there as well, but there's just so few. Steve Nash is a phenomenal player that was ultimately never able to get home, right? Because he was never on that Dallas team that ultimately got there with Nowitzki.
Yeah, Kid was on that team. Yeah, but it wasn't.
You're right. Generational stars. I'll take that team of like Nash and Dame and Barkley and Malone and Vince Carter.
The all-ringless team.
team.
Well, they'd have a chip on their shoulder. Can you imagine that?
Harden, Westbrook.
Charles would be the captain, though.
Great players.
Getting all
and it's funny, too, because Charles has to wear it and every once in a while.
Because he's on TV the most. Yeah,
but he's there, and it's like, who had the better career? Who's the better player? Like Charles or Kenny Smith? Kenny Smith's got rings, and he just drops that like a mic drop, and there's nothing Charles
And then Charles says Hakeem drug you up and down the floor and all that. And they make the jokes, right? Yeah.
But I do like how Barkley has he wears it, but he brings it up. Like that to me is like Armin talking about how many fights he gets into with Bears fans. When then Armin will also line up and say, hey, you know who is, I think, a really mediocre quarterback in the NFL is Caleb Williams. So he'll ask for a lot of the arrows, but Barkley also just says, he's like, I'm not at that table. But he'll talk about it rather openly, maybe now more than ever.
He accepts it.
Where he's like, Hakeem Olajuwon's at a different spot. He was talking about it with Dan Patrick about the Hall of Fame of there's certain, by the way, Dan Patrick, #1 rated national morning show, national radio show.
It's nice that he closes for us.
That he closes for us. And
for him, he closes for us.
I believe I saw #2 rated national radio show comes on right after Dan Patrick.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy that
what a lineup,
man. We're in good company.
Hell of a lineup to be a part of, fellas.
That's right.
Hell of a lineup to be a part of. I like that. But he mentioned, Drew, that there's always going to be subsections of the Hall of Fame, and whether I think the conversation did spark from the Belichick deal, but from Barkley, it's like, yeah, we're all in there. However, just like fans do, we also look around and say, I'm better than that guy, but he's got a couple of rings I probably can't say anything to him. I definitely would have owned him 11-0 in Make It Take It, and he wouldn't have even touched the rock. However,
that's a good point.
He's got 2 rings and he was a role player, and I can't say can't say much.
But Charles does seem the most comfortable in his own skin of all those guys, because I think he knows his status in the game, even though he never won a title, and it'll always kind of bother him. But you're right, Billy. He kind of accepts it and sometimes weaponizes it as well. Like more than like a Marino, who I think never really Dan Marino never was comfortable with the topic of talking about it as if never getting a ring. That type of player, that type of, career without a ring, as much as Barkley was. I think it meant a lot to Barkley to be on the dream team and knowing in the era of all those great players, he was the best player on that team during that time. I mean, he averaged the most. He was their most productive player. So I think part of that is salve to that wound when he starts to think about that.
I also think when you flip it over to the NFL and this week with Super Bowl 60 on the horizon, it's almost you shift it where in the NBA you think more of the guys that don't end up winning a title. In the NFL, you almost feel worse for the guys that just never get to experience this. Right, like all of what last night was. I think of Phillip Rivers, who was in the title game maybe once or twice in his career, never got back. Julius Peppers, one of my favorite players of all time. And when he got to come to Green Bay, you were an eyelash away twice. Yeah. And he played in a Super Bowl, I want to say in his second year in Carolina, played almost 20 years and never got back. Right. So that to me in the NFL, it's almost getting to this point. is the first part of the pinnacle. Everyone remembers you a lot differently if you win this one, but at least you get to experience what this week is like. And apparently what, media night in a convention center is. Fellas, we lucked out being at Super Bowl opening night last year.
That's right.
In the stadium. Oh my goodness. Did you see any of the shots and the sterileness of what they were doing yesterday?
I didn't see it.
In the San Jose Convention Center. I mean, you thought we were tight nuts to butts last year, bouncing around on the outskirts of the field.
Right.
Tough look for the folks that drove the nearly 2 hours to get over to the convention center for media.
Yeah, so we had it good. We definitely did have it pretty good.
Oh, man.
So I like to think about that. It just wasn't the same vibe, was it? I mean, that not only that from what I saw, but the lack of stuff I saw. It didn't look like there was much audio or video like that floating around. I thought it'd be a bigger deal.
Because I don't know that a lot of people were able to bounce around.
Exactly.
The where Radio Row was, the media center, I saw multiple people posting pictures of their Ubers or their Waze app screenshots. It was taking them like an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to get over there. So I don't even know if they ended up making it as much for a decent amount of the festivities last night.
Yep.
Tough scene.
Quite an anniversary. This is the week I was thinking about it because February 3rd, I wasn't around. I'm not that old, but February 3rd is the day of the Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, Richie Valens plane crash in Clear Lake, Iowa. The day the music died.
Oh,
historically. And then I'm like, I do remember, we're like, this is the week, the Packers in Dallas, the anniversary is coming up, February 6th.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch that coming up on Thursday.
Definitely.
Do a Super Bowl rewatch.
I was going to say, I think that Super Bowl rewatch might have to happen during the show.
Super Bowl 45 rewatch.
I'm a big fan of doing that. And I have, when I've seen the third quarter again, Drew, I just like to think about what on earth a mic'd up with Armin Sarian would have been like at that time.
I was terrified.
God. Where did you watch that game, Armin?
Buddy's house. We were all together for every playoff game that run, and it was 21-3 if you remember the lead. So that 21-3 is now obviously burned into my memory, branded for different reasons. But that was 21-3. And I said, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to get over losing a game with the lead like that in this caliber, a Super Bowl. And I was kind of, that sinking feeling that this might not be to be until that Mendenhall fumble happened, which I think started to turn things around again, momentum wise. But it's fun to watch old games and to realize, just stop, pause, right? It's fun to watch old games and realize what
some of us have other hobbies, but we know.
But to remember, all right, no, that's good. I get it. Fun to watch old game. What else? Yeah, that's it. That should be on my tombstone.
It will be. Yeah, it will be.
Armin, here lies Armin. It was fun to watch.
Doing what
games.
He loved.
Yeah,
watching tape of the 1983 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, but my point was, it's fun to.
Here lies Armin. Yeah. The 1992 NBA Finals were the best ever.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Let's talk about Game 6. But basically, my point is, it's interesting to see what you remember and what you don't. Like you watch a play, like why don't I remember this play? This is an impactful moment or an impactful thing. That's the stuff that's interesting.
The algo just gave me some stuff from that, and you're always going to see the Kevin Green, right? May he rest in peace, Kevin Green.
Yeah.
But Jennings coming back to the bench talking about what the corners were doing. It's like the corner's going to be wide open, and he set that up, called his shot. And Rodgers delivers him a pass right there. It was amazing.
And that's the NFL film stuff we didn't see till after, right?
Yes.
So the mic'd up stuff. But like the plays, like the 3rd and 10 that he hit to Jennings, that was probably one of the biggest plays of the year on that final drive or the second and final drive. So
one of the players I probably cursed the most in his Packers lifetime in my fandom was a guy that we hung out with in the shadows of Lambeau Field at a Buffalo Wild Wings and might be the coolest, nicest guy you'll ever meet in your entire life. Jared Bush makes one of the biggest plays of the Super Bowl.
He sure did.
Jumping the route. Now, maybe being in the wrong spot. Maybe not covering the guy that he's supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, happy accidents. And Bob Ross painted a beautiful one that day.
Plenty to get to this week. Shooting shirts are coming off. Oh, Sean McVay gets an extension along with Les Snead. How about that? Multi-year.
I imagine that's going to be rather fat.
The clarion call of TV. He's just going to stay on the grind and stay as the coach.
Shocking how a trip to the NFC title game makes that decision a little easier than being 5-10 or whatever it was, 5-12 a couple of years ago.
We are off and running. We are going to do some buying and selling in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll have a concert announcement as well. 6 o'clock hour, we'll do some buying or selling and a concert announcement and giveaway in the 7 o'clock hour of the program. Where else would you rather be? You're hanging out in the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Everybody looks up to Wood as being a leader. He's gone. Nobody's standing up and rallying the troops. It is time. It is time.
They all looking at me. I got a feeling they're pulling this way. Check plus, check plus. Spill it, pick it, spill it.
Like 5. Pittsburgh with the ball down by 4. Mendenhall, loss of football. Picked up by Bishop. Matthews and Pickett combined on the tackle.
It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you. You early risers out there, we appreciate it so much. You sociopaths who are waiting for the health club to open up at 5 a.m.
I think there's a lot of our listeners that are doing that. There's
They're
lot
on the
of our
elliptical
listeners
listening to us right now. So these guys are full of it. What do they know?
And Outsider 4520 coming in with the most common question I've gotten in the last 2 weeks, and I'm sure you guys have gotten this a lot too. So you getting used to the start time, Armin? You getting used to waking up early? You guys getting used to it? So you guys getting used to that early alarm clock? How many times have you gotten that question? Outsider 4520, by the way, cool name, man.
That is a sweet name.
It's much cooler than like Outsider 4430, you know?
Yeah, not as cool as, 5420, but
you don't get used to it. You just learn to manage it better. Is that the right way to term?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting to right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you necessarily are getting used to the 3:30 or 3:40 alarm. However, I'm really digging the 9:30 back at home deal and being able to work through the rest of the day.
Yeah,
and aggregate and get enough stuff. Sorry, that's a bad word nowadays. Grab as much stuff to be able to bring in for the next day and have a clean slate. I really enjoy knowing that we're the first folks on the air.
That's right.
That there's the sick part of like the sickos that are waiting outside the Y.
That's it.
You can have that little bit of pride and say, I was here before you. This feels like the fan of the alt indie band.
Yeah,
I was here before you.
What people don't get is that when you adopted this lifestyle of ours and the alarm goes off at for me, it's like 3:48 is the first alarm.
Yeah.
Very similar to mine.
I was trying to front with the 3:30.
3:48.
That's okay. Hey,
an extra couple of minutes.
It was like adding 10 pounds in the high school football. I had to boost that.
Let them know, Billy. Yeah. It's all good.
What sucks is that little thing that everybody else looks forward to, the weekend.
You have a great
point.
Try
to turn your life upside down. It's like if we just did this every day, it'd be more manageable than having those 2 days where you try to flip upside down and try to stay up past 9:30 or 10 at night and have a life.
Yeah. That's so great.
And then it's like, well, if it wasn't for that, because if you stayed on the same routine, okay, but who's going to do that? Like you got to live a life, right? So
at least even if you stay on the same routine and you extend it out like 3 hours, I was still Saturday morning wide awake at 6 a.m. Like obviously everyone else in my house is sleeping. I'm like, all right.
6 a.m. I'm wide awake at 4.
Well, I'll start cutting. I'm just saying, like, I'll
make
start
yourself go back to
cutting
sleep
some
then.
potatoes or doing something, or like, should I make the coffee? Well, my wife won't be up for
You're
2
gonna look
hours.
like Gordon Ramsay with breakfast coming out.
I'm like, what's on TV? Like, I'm watching Forensic. Lars, what have you been doing? Watching Forensic Files.
Sorry, first 48 was on.
Roasting potatoes. What are you doing? I mean, like, I've been up for an hour and a half, which is great until it's like, oh, this is great. You know, it's 9 p.m. Let's see what's on TV and all this. Let's see what's on Netflix. You know, and I'm drooling on the pillow. You know?
When it's 9:30 in the morning and you've been up for an entire day almost, that's when the sinking feeling goes, man, I really wish I would have been able to go right back to bed.
Like, you feel like this day's lasting forever? She goes, no. It's 11.
One of the things, here's one of the things, boys, and we're going to have to find, I know nobody from our sales team over in Thailand is up at this hour, right? But if they
Pago might be.
What we need is we need to get on like the early bird train, because I have found one of the keys to getting good sleep when you work these hours is to eat dinner earlier.
Yeah.
If you try to eat and go, if you eat at 7:30 and go to bed at 8:30,
no, you can't do that.
Your body is working to digest, and it's warmer. You're supposed to be cool when you go to sleep. Your body's like warming and working through that digestion process. And then they say you should eat, like the last thing you should eat should be 3, maybe 4 hours before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does that put you like? 4:00, the early bird special.
Yeah, well, listen, and the best thing is I'm just fat, so I've always tried to eat dinner at 4. I'm like always tried to eat dinner as soon as possible because I'm so hungry.
That's right.
However, I do feel like it fits more now. I said it to my wife yesterday. I'm like, actually, I don't feel bad asking you at 3:40. Hey, when should I start making dinner to be able? But the problem is, Drew, the potential 8:00 bowl of ice cream that all of a sudden you look back.
Oh yeah.
Drew said I got to cool down. I was like, I got to cool down a little bit. Why don't I go and check this Toll House deal out? Maybe throw a little bit of cookie dough in there, see what's up.
When you start looking in the pantry like you're a kid looking in the toy store, like what do we got in there? What is that? Cinnamon Life? What do we got? What do we got in there? Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
And I think there's a dangerous dealing once you get a Costco membership to whenever you go to realize you do need to go through every single one of the snack aisles.
You got to. You got to. We got extra Funyuns. Someone's got to eat these Funyuns. Let's hear it for Tony Jabroni.
What's up, Tony?
Up here on the YouTube comments. Guys, Tony. This is the first time I've been up early enough to catch the show. I dig it. All right. Well, we dig you digging it, Tony Jabroni. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I like that. Yes. 877-794-1973. Someone hit us up, Jason in Waukesha.
What's up, Jason?
We were talking about great guys who've never won a title in the NBA because James Harden's now on the block. We'll talk about that momentarily. But Jason in Waukesha said Clyde Drexler.
Instructive.
Drexler won a title.
He won the title with the 95 Rockets. So instructive that you don't remember that, right? Because you think of Hakeem and all these guys. He was on the second Rockets team. He's kind of he was an important part of the team, but he kind of jumped on, to I don't want to say ring. I guess that's the early version of ring chasing.
Sure.
But he was part of that team. But he didn't win when he was driving the bus in Portland because he got blocked in 90 by the Pistons and then the Bulls in 92. But Clyde did win in 95. So I got one. All right. We got one right.
Back in the town where he couldn't win in college.
That's a great point because NC State beat him.
That's right.
And they've been so close. Thinking you want to talk about the trivia question.
Oh, my gosh.
My youngster asked, who won the basketball championship last year? That's a great question. Let me look it up. And then let me look it up. Who ended up?
Those are impossible.
And then realized that it was I forgot that it was an all-time great game between Florida and Houston.
It really was.
67-65 comeback. I'm like, buddy, that was a great one. That's the tough part about all of a sudden 11 months later not remembering anything that happened.
Ask me from 82 to 90, and I can tell you. Ask me last year, the last 5 years.
Isn't that crazy? But
clue.
I think it's to your point about the crucible of our sports fandom. You just like Carson will remember everything that happens in the next 10 years for the rest of it, like in terms of sports.
Oh God!
Because when he grows up through it, your son. But I think there's a point there, and it is pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the Blue Jays, nobody came closer to winning a title without than the Calvin Sampson Houston teams. I mean, they've come as close as you can get. So that's brutality right there. I guess maybe the Shanahan 49ers, he still hasn't won a Super Bowl. So
in a way, the sports gods smiled at us last night and into this morning, and they said, here's James Harden to talk about and give the rest of the NBA media industrial complex something to churn on other than just beat this Giannis thing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's a poor horse that's just sitting in the corner saying, really again? Like, do we really have to do this again for the next 4 days before we get to the deadline? It also, Drew, felt like maybe there was a shift last night from Shams of saying, I do need to find something else to discuss when these people bring me on every night. Yeah,
because it was the Giannis thing. Now, the interesting thing was that the one thing I heard from Shams, and I think maybe Ramona Shelburne and stuff, is that there's an undercurrent that even if the Bucks don't trade Giannis, and 2:00 Thursday we'll know, but I don't think it's going to happen right now. For all the reasons we've been talking about.
Yeah.
First of all, there's a chance he might stay, but there's also it's going to take a 16 bank shot. And then Shams is saying, well, the Bucks will lose leverage then because Giannis will be able to more dictate where he wants to go. Cause that's whoever trades for him is going to want to sign him to an extension. If somebody's going to trade for me, like, I'm not going to play there for a long time. Then it reduces his value. Okay. Granted, but they're like, they'll cede more control to Giannis. And I'm just like, well, he's kind of driving this thing now, isn't he? A little bit.
Yeah. What are we ceding? He gets to control the app while he's driving the bus.
But that can't be the Bucks' concern. And the Bucks owe it to him to send him where he wants to go. No, the Bucks owe it to the Bucks have paid Giannis almost $300 million already, and they want to give him 275 more. Why do they owe him where they send him? I mean, it's a courtesy, I guess, but I don't see it that way. And like, if you're running your organization that way, I don't know if that's the right way to approach it.
And I think you can run your organization that way, Drew. And I guess I would urge, and you see teams do it like the Lakers, where you're in a position perennially to acquire whatever disgruntled star athlete there is, right? Whatever disgruntled star becomes available, they always want to play for the Lakers. God bless any one of them that wakes up and calls his agent and says, you know where I really want to play? Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
I'm only 31. I don't think it's happened in my lifetime. And I bet a sizable and potentially uncomfortable amount of money that it's not going to happen. So you do need to operate in a spot where, sure, it's nice to do what's nice but good by the player, but I don't think you're benefiting and earning any goodwill with the rest of the players of the Players Association by sending him to Miami or Orlando. You send him wherever you get the best package.
Not at all. But then the other layer of this is that they're reporting they're starting to be churned that if Giannis isn't traded, he wants to come back from this calf strain and play this season. And it's like, well, that's not part of the blueprint. Then we might win games and not get a good pick. Like, what are you doing? You're hurting the operation by playing. That's why I said bubble wrap, go to Greece, sit on the bench, relax, give Thanasis your minutes.
Sounds like Thanasis has been listening to the show, and he called up. He's like, GA, they're thinking about shutting you down. He's like, well, we need to throw a wrench into that idea. I get it that he doesn't want to play or that he's going to want to play. However, it's paramount that if you're going to do this thing right, that he doesn't play outside of maybe 5 to 10 games at the end to make everybody see that he's okay. The benefit of that is very, very low. Very low.
And the risk is
rather high.
Catastrophic Achilles pop, and he's out for a year. But
if it gives you a sliver of a chance to sign him in October, I think you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it gives you a sliver of a chance to sign him.
Well,
and allow yourself to actually go in this 2 to 5 year window that you tried to sell him on. I think it might be worth it.
Then again, their slide into the abyss during this window where he's out is so incoming Armin word, precipitous.
Yes. Yes.
That there's going to be so buried. They were only 500 with him. And and when he comes back, it's still going to be turd-tastic, and Doc is still calling the shots. So it's not going to be great when he comes back. But so how much will it really hurt their draft positioning? They already have a pick swap, so they can only go so high. But it's going to be a lottery pick, right? As long as they're looking for
extra ping pong balls.
So the idea that, well, they're going to screw up and Giannis is going to lead them to the play-in game, like, I don't know if that's a worry.
I think we're going to be so far gone potentially that's not going to matter.
Yeah, that's
also the fact that maybe the hottest team in the NBA is the Fighting Knipples, the Killer Bees, and they're potentially just going to make that too far of a run for you to be able to get back into the play-in conversation.
Is LaMelo Ball moving into the SGA of the future role, where it's like build around this guy and like make him the hub of everything that's happening?
They're interesting there. That team is interesting. There's no doubt about it when you think about what those guys can do together.
And it's systemic. You mentioned all the new championships, and like after 6 years of Warriors Cavs in a row, we now have the opposite of that. And the people who bitched about the same teams being in the finals every year are now like, well, this sucks. Like, there's no dynasties anymore. Everybody's got to be pissed about something. Otherwise, it wouldn't be 2026.
That's right. What'd you say? The national pastime is bitching?
Yeah,
right.
We're good at it because we've done it for a long, long time.
Complain about everything.
But don't worry. We might have it in the NFL. And one of our favorite ones to hate is just running out of the darkness on that beautiful horse like Paul Revere in the night. And the Pats are coming. And the Bostonians are coming, and the Massholes might be coming. Woo. And it might be a great opportunity for us to hate somebody once again in the beautiful world of sports.
Yes. Never thought I'd be in a position where I'm, rooting for Seattle.
That's a good
point.
Did
not think I'd get to that point.
But
great point.
We're at that. We'll talk about that
my
conundrum.
Hasn't picked me up yet.
We'll talk about that conundrum as we move forward. We're going to do some buying or selling after 7 o'clock. Concert announcement. Buying or selling after 6 o'clock. Concert announcement after 7. And a giveaway today. More Billy trivia for you. Buckle up. Grab that comfortable chair, cold drink, or if you're on the elliptical, thanks for sweating with us. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddle up, Wisconsin. It's the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Bringing it to you, Billy, Armin, and yours truly, Drew Olson. We're talking about Giannis and the gift we got from the sports gods that James Harden now in the rumored churn with Darius Garland and Cleveland and LA. And now suddenly Giannis is like moved down in the pecking order of stuff that they're churning out today.
Well, and I do wonder, Drew, how much of this, we're still 2 days away from the deadline. We're a full 48 plus hours away.
By the way, the deadline is 2:00 on Thursday.
2:00 on Thursday.
2 p.m., afternoon. So
okay. And when did the baseball one go to 5:00? When did they decide that needed to be prime
I remember it used
television?
to be like midnight Eastern. It was the worst for newspaper deadlines. And then finally we're like,
then it was like 3 in the afternoon and it was perfect.
Yeah, you can set this whenever you want. It's like an arbitrary thing.
Make the
depending
rule.
on when your show was.
This isn't a national holiday. 1,000%, Armin.
I say that, and I've had this conversation with my wife because she's in the business world, in the real world, and it's like end of quarter and trying to get stuff done by the end of the year and trying to get stuff done by Christmas. And it's like, well, we have to have these deals done. And I'm like, okay, so why not just like slide the deadline up? And I know that's not how it works because everybody tries to push and wait and stuff. Like, you're setting the deadline.
We're a world of procrastinators. Yes.
Yeah. So why doesn't you just as a company just say all deals for the next year have to be completed by December 23rd? Like, make that the deadline.
Right. I get your point. It's all arbitrary.
So that extra week, it's like, well, you set the deadline as New Year's Eve, like the calendar sets it for you. Set it yourself.
Yeah.
And like, well, now because then people will want to push it. Like, why?
Oh, I thought you were going to get the answer of, well, that's how we always did it.
Well, that's my least favorite answer in all of the world. It's the way we've always done it. Well, it's always been screwed up.
That is the
dude. My whole professional life
so
was
true.
Like,
Well, that's how we always done it because we always did it at the 31st of the week.
Right at this time of year, Hardercourt and I would go into a meeting with the bosses and they'd be like, okay, well, what are your plans for covering spring training? How are you going to do it? And we always had ideas of stuff we were going to do. And then they're like, all right, when do you start that position by position series? We're like, well, we had thought about not doing that this year and moving away from it. And like, well, but our readers have come to expect that. I'm like, because we give it to them every year. Let's give them something different. They can come to expect that. Well, no, we want the position by position series because then we can tease the next day. Like today was catchers. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to write my 6th straight story about left field being Jeff Jenkins for the 6th year in a row. I've already interviewed his 6th grade and kindergarten teachers. What new angle do you guys have for me that you want to know about the guy that we write about every year that's been the left fielder? Like at some point, that and the football guys still do it.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
tale as old as time.
I think it started with Bob McGinn.
I was that guy. I look forward
Bob
to that.
McGinn would do it, and then we would do it, but then like every year. But when you don't have turnover,
I used to read it through.
I know.
No, I'm just saying.
Can't wait to read about the tackles. Like
Armin's sitting there saying, "God, I can't wait for the third baseman tomorrow."
Third baseman, I better walk to the newspaper box and buy one on Edgerton.
So
for 50 cents and then take 2 because it's already open.
Mom, they got a big battle at second base. They're doing that tomorrow. I gotta have paper.
My thing was over the course of the spring, we're going to write about everybody anyway. So why do we have to have this packaged? And in some ways, it was like easy. It was like plug and play. It was locked in. So it took some of the brain work out of like, but also stymied. I thought stymied creativity.
Well, you're right.
Being flexible to react to the news.
I mean, right? I didn't know the business back then, so I'm sure.
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
like okay, but
all
what
I knew
if
is that we got Gerald Williams, and therefore we will win the World Series.
If something broke, though, that was more important, and it's like, well, we have to keep that short because we're running your position.
Right.
Like,
Agate copy. And all that.
This might be a little bit more pertinent. Might be a little bit better of a story. But the best thing is, Drew is saying that he wanted what a lot of teachers, I feel like for a long time had asked us to do, especially once you get to college. They want you to be a free thinker. They want you to come up and have some creativity, come up with your own idea. You just say, well, what's the rubric though?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? What do I have to do
to get a C
to get
or
it
B?
done?
Yeah.
So I hear, hey, we're going to do position by position. Oh, sweet. All right, Monday. So I know exactly what I have to do. I know exactly what I have to do.
Your assignment.
And but that is a difference of when you're in it and you've done it for so long and you see how many different stories there are to tell. We want to be able to move around a little bit. And I also like this guy saying, but when are you going to write about the shortstop then?
Yeah.
Because they got SS over here. So we need that SS story, right?
Well, part of that, Drew, was our only hope was like the minor leaguers coming up in the future. Like, will this guy, will Kyle Peterson be any good? And wasn't he the pitcher? Yeah. So
he was the pitcher.
That was part of it, So you were kind of hoping like maybe Bob Hamlin will push first baseman, like, all those type of guys.
I enjoy it from the Super Bowl angle because you know that there's certain people, especially last night, you see a lot of different ones. One guy asked Mike Vrabel, "Is this a must-win game?"
That's awesome.
He's like, every game's a must-win game because
That's an
you know
awesome
what we're
question.
trying.
But see, like that, even that, you can't shock people with dumb questions anymore.
You can't. Everything's
a
prep for it.
cliche.
Everyone's ready for it. Everyone's got something holstered up for it.
That's something we learned last year.
But you
Super Bowl.
realize just how different everyone's job covering the game, this game, is.
Oh yeah.
Because some people are writing a story, potentially, Drew, like I think in the business they call it the page one, where it's just like you have to write this for people that did not know that a football is oblong and they call it a pigskin.
Yeah. Oh, I wrote a story one time and they put it on page 1A and they newsified it, just to your point, where I said something about the Super Bowl, like they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl, and someone put the Super Bowl, comma, a game contested every year for the championship of the National Football League. And I'm like, I get that this is for non-sports fans, but can we start from the baseline that most Americans know what the term Super Bowl is
for the kids? Now they had that. It's called the Nickelodeon broadcast, right?
Yeah.
Let's not insult too many people's intelligence.
Super Bowl,
here.
comma, a game contested every year for the championship of the National Football League. Thanks for that. And it totally ruined the prose and the clunky and the rhythm
terrible.
of what I was trying to
Listen,
write.
nothing solved my imposter syndrome at Media Day quicker last year when I saw everybody and their other butt scratch podcast out running around doing this, taking videos, just playing like yo-yos with the players.
We needed to get one of those stick mics or stick cameras.
Yeah.
We needed to get one of those stick cameras. We would look so much cooler.
I'm like, at least I got a collared shirt on.
We got to talk about that moving forward as well. Oh, baby, we're going to be buying or selling in the next hour of the program. 7:00 concert announcement and giveaway. You're in the right place. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddle up, everybody. Let's cut and crack, whatever that means. Cut and crack.
It's a big one.
Ask Billy. It's some sort of football play.
There's going to be a lot of cutting and cracking this weekend,
Yes.
especially on those outside runs. The Patriot run defense, guys, is really good. I'm diving into this game.
I love this. Billy's starting to
get
convince
excited
himself
about
something of one way or the other. Starting to
I'm
convince
coming
himself.
around to the idea, and it's funny because my feeling when teams are closely matched, you pick the better quarterback. Well, who is that in this game? Some days it's Drake May. Some days it could be Sam Darnold. Which guy shows up? Is Drake May's shoulder hurting more than he thought?
It's a good question.
There's a lot of layers to this. And then who can scheme around their quarterback's deficiencies?
Well, the verbiage was that he turned a corner health-wise.
Yeah,
That's
I
big.
don't know that.
That's big. The
Yeah.
corner has been turned.
The
Is ready to
corner
go.
is that he's eats his cornflakes in the morning with some crushed up Toradol on them, and like
and is able to get through practice
can
that
get
way.
through- he's having, that's the. But come on, no one's gonna be held out of the Super Bowl.
No,
Unless you gotta,
but Drew, you wonder if they'll be hampered a little bit, right? Like going into the divisional round for the Seahawks. That was when Sam Darnold popped up in the middle of the week with the oblique injury, and everybody wondered, he's going to play. Right? The biggest game of his career. He's going to play. However, is he going to be at all ill-affected by the injury? He proved the last 2 weeks, no. He is very much okay. May has not played his best in the postseason. However, I think we got 17 games of pretty rock-solid evidence that he's a pretty damn good player in his second year. And almost like the regression to the mean, you see somebody at their worst, and you all of a sudden start picturing them at their best. Drew, I kind of like the teams that look really, really good on conference championship week to look a little bit more like their normal self and a little bit more pedestrian Super Bowl week. The team that didn't look as good on championship Sunday, getting through that game, getting through the muck in whatever the second half was. The more and more I'm looking at it, I'm starting to lean with that Patriot blue and red, and I'm not liking it as much. But I'm fascinated by this one, and the coaching matchup is one to really, really be interested in.
Yeah, a couple of defensive guys in there, right?
A couple of defensive guys, and somebody with maybe the most Super Bowl experience out of any coach in the National Football League, Josh McDaniels.
True.
Right? I mean, like, if anybody
point.
has seen more Super Bowls than Josh McDaniels and his coaching in this game, I'd like to see it. Like that Patriot staff has been there. That team might not have been. They might not have a whole lot of experience, but the guys that are going to be getting them ready for it and prepared for all of what Sunday has, a lot of that experience is on the Pats side. And I'm really starting to like that 4.5.
Oh, baby. It's buy or sell day. Tuesday, we buy and sell on the Huddle. And so you can give us your propositions. A little radio tradio. 877-794-1973 to the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line. Comment on our streams because we're streaming live on X, YouTube, and the Book of Face. We are also on the iHeartRadio app. We welcome people on 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. So we're buying or selling. And the comment right there, Billy, is like on my list of things to throw at you guys. The proposition.
That was my
Are
first
you
one.
buying or selling the notion that Super Bowl prop bets are more fun to talk about and entertain in your brain than they are to actually take to the window and try to win?
Now, I would say no, but that's also because I have a sick problem where I really, really enjoy as many tickets as possible walking away. But it is fun.
Do I really want to like invest on the coin toss? I just got an email from my guy, Jimmy Shapiro.
Yeah.
5'4" dynamo who I saw at the Super Bowl last year. And I've gotten to know over the years, and he's the guy that sent us all the stuff from what is it, Bet USA or Bet AG?
Yeah, Bet AG, Bet Online, AG,
goofy
whatever.
I just got the officiating props.
Oh, jeez.
And it's an entire email. Okay. How many accepted penalties will there be by both teams? The over-under is 10.5.
Combined?
Yeah.
Well, that's land.
What will the combined total of penalty yards? Over under 119.5 yards.
Like, I don't know if that's
How many
a fun
first
one.
downs by penalty? 5. How many challenges will there be by both teams? Over under 1.5. Like, this is how granular we're getting. And this is a long ass list.
Yeah. Well, and that's where,
and here's where it gets really ridiculous. Okay. Will any player be ejected from the game?
Oh, I'll take the no on that. What's no?
The no is minus 5,000.
All right, I'll plunk down.
Minus 5,000.
that's an arm and bet.
And then
with a nickel.
the yes
Nickels
is
on the
plus
ground.
1,000.
Ooh, okay.
I just don't see anyone ever being ejected from
Will
the Super
there be
Bowl.
a penalty for excessive celebration? Yes, plus 900. No, minus 3,000. A Super Bowl penalty for celebrating?
I think we saw a Seahawk ejected from the last Super Bowl they played.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. I mean, that does happen. But
will the Patriots be penalized for roughing the passer? Yes, plus 800. No, minus 2,500.
Wow, that feels like great value. One of my favorites.
You're getting us excited now to bet on these.
But
now
the thing is,
but they're fun to. That's what I'm saying. They're fun to consider, but to take them to the window. I guess people who buy lottery tickets. It's
well, now that's the thing. Now those I don't believe you can actually get into. But like those, I don't actually know that you can get into a legitimate book other than the one that you have to like pray to God when you go to the bank that they don't ask you why you're getting a check from. Pakistan.
Right. Our friends at Potawatomi Sports pretty much put a lot of props now. But
they got a ton of them over here.
They're football stuff. They're football props. Right?
But like the to you, Drew, like will there be a scoregami in the game? Will the game end in a scoregami? A score that has never happened before in the National Football League, settled by using NFLscoregami.com. Or like, will there be an octopus? That means a guy scores the touchdown and scores the 2-point conversion, scores all 8 points on the possession. That one's 12-1. The one that I was fascinated by and I loved, and I didn't jump on fast enough because I gave it away apparently on the Potawatomi Sportsbook Weekly last week.
You did.
Was an offensive lineman to score a touchdown. Marvin, last week it was at 33-1.
What happened, Billy?
For those that just look at the lines, that means plus 3,300. It is now at plus 2,000.
You moved it.
All right.
That line is almost sliced completely in half for a fat man to score a touchdown.
You should have bet it. I don't know
over under on penalties in the fourth quarter, 3.
Well, if you believe in the
Each
idea
team
that
will commit the first
whistle.
accepted penalty. Seahawks plus 100, Patriots minus 130. If it was the Packers, it's like, okay, well, it's the first play of the game, the kickoff.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So which props are fun? Like you mentioned, like, are they more fun to talk about? It's not fun to watch for penalties. So for me, I don't like betting on those.
But then, okay, the length of the anthem and all
those
stuff.
are fun to talk about.
I love that one, yeah.
But then you're
By
right.
the way,
like the coin
that's
toss, once it's over, it's over.
The point shaving people, if you're performing the anthem and you're rehearsing it, you know how long it's going to be.
Well, they take that one down now.
Yeah, they do.
Charlie Puth over 159.5, I believe, is now where it is. I would sell that number. Wait till it gets better. It's going to go down if you want that over.
This is one, and here's the low-lying fruit. This is where the point shaving scandal could come into the last prop on Jimmy's list of officiating props. Will Darnold or May, the starting quarterbacks in this game, pat any referee on the tush?
How do you settle that?
Yes, plus 200. No, minus 300.
And who settles that?
That I like.
You can't even see if you won.
Does it count if it's not on camera?
I was going to say,
saying.
confirmed by the Whitecap in the pool report.
So
somebody has to ask the head referee of the Super Bowl.
Where you pat it on the ass. Yeah. Well, right. Am I wrong? Because the most frustrating thing about that is if you aren't paying attention to the whole game, which nobody does, you're up getting the dip and you're up getting the pizza. What if you missed it? And then, like, there's no way to check. I'm not going to Google, did a ref get touched on the butt during the game?
Also, does it count if the ref touches the quarterback's butt first?
Okay, there's another one.
Then it's just reciprocal.
What about the lower?
Feels like that you're being baited into. You want to talk about
true.
the point shaving guys.
The refs can be in on that.
What about
this? You got to help them in on a little bit of game of grab ass.
What about the small of the back? And then, like, when does that become? Well, you had a finger on the thing. Then we're going to have NBC it. Right, because it's on NBC, though, that zoom in camera, we're going to NBC it.
Armin's been accused of grabbing something.
That's finger on cheek. That's finger on cheek. And then you're trying to call them to get your money.
Sean Smith is reffing his first Super Bowl 60, and he might just present his buttocks to both of the quarterbacks until one of them gives him a little.
Well, and I would like to know where it starts and where it ends. I'd like to know if this guy's doing squats and we're going to actually be able to see.
Where does it start? Where does it end? Like, when does the hair become back hair? We don't know. You know,
a lot of
neck hair and back hair.
Thank you, Jimmy Shapiro.
But that's why I like to go to Potawatomi Sportsbook for my props, because it's actual football stuff,
and then
like length of longest rush and things like that.
First touchdown and stuff like
that.
that.
But the nice thing about the coin toss prop is you're getting your best odds in terms of the juice. They always reduce the juice on that because they know it's a safe 50-50 prop. So it's like minus 103 now.
Yeah, some would say it's 50-50.
It's a super some would. Some would. But it's a pretty cheap deal right now from Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you
I will be on heads. Yeah, I will have USD on heads. Now, I'm not positive how much US currency will be on heads. But
pause.
As much as tails never fails. I got a good feeling about this one being heads.
It's funny when people say tails
All
never
right,
fails because it fails 50% of the time.
You buying or selling that no matter what happens in the game in the first half, both fan bases will accuse Chris Collinsworth of glazing the other team.
Absolutely a buy.
No doubt about it, yeah.
Buy.
Set your watch by
They
that,
will both fan bases will complain about everything that goes on. If they lose, and also buy or sell. If any fan out there loses their prop bet, they're going to accuse the whole thing of being a script and AKA rigged. If you think it's a script and rigged, then why are you betting on it? You should be betting on it. You should be making a ton of money if it's so obvious who they're always favoring. It should be easy that way. Just quit crying about being a loser. Like you lost your bet. Quit crying, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, okay, sorry,
I would say buy or sell, Drew, on the Chris Collinsworth one. Buy or sell a first half mention of Patrick Mahomes by Chris Collinsworth.
I'm gonna buy that.
There's gotta be, right?
Yeah,
I mean, at
Almost to
some
chum
point,
the waters.
one player is gonna roll out of the box and be like, "Oh my God, it's like we're watching Patrick Mahomes in this game." I'm sorry, Mike. We just always watch him in this game, and I love the way he plays. All right, it's so exciting.
Right.
Mike Witt says buy or sell Billy eating a dozen chicken wings during the game Sunday. Well, only a dozen?
Yeah, buy, definitely.
That's a quarter prop.
Now the tough thing is where I'll be
over.
buying the wings at my friends from Beecher Meats. This was discussed yesterday.
Come on now, let's go.
They end up selling them in boxes of 10, right? Thank you. That's more of a duck.
Yeah.
I don't really like duck wings. It's a little more salty.
You can get duck though.
You can get duck.
Yeah.
You can get
They've
ducks over there.
I think they got it. Yeah.
But a dozen will definitely be put down. I have not. We have not fully finalized what the smorgasbord will be. But
Okay.
chicken wings will be a part of it, Drew.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, Mike. I'm buying that.
It's time for the old prop of what day do you consume more calories? Thanksgiving Day or Super Bowl Sunday?
I like that one a lot.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday, I don't usually crush 10, 12 beers on Thanksgiving. Some do.
Yeah.
The problem is it's
Especially working.
Sunday, and I know this is a topic that's been beaten like a horse. We talked about horse topics. When they make this game on a Saturday, I will start to consume more beverages. But it's a Sunday, and we gotta be back here. You know.
Exactly.
Now you have pizza. You have to have beer with pizza. You know. So.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, you do have to have at least one.
So if we have a little pizza, we're gonna have a little beer. You know. So that's how that works.
Are you buying or selling? And this is the delineation of you guys being kind of millennials, and then we got some coworkers here are kind of the Gen Zs.
Elder versus
as you're
the Gen
aging
Zs.
into the Gen Z millennial thing, is that you are Gen Z if you can tell the difference between Tate McRae, Addison Rae, and Sabrina Carpenter.
Here we go. Yes,
Wow,
yes.
If you hear a song or you see somebody on screen, I saw Addison Rae on the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
She was wearing some kind of dress thing that looked like a bathrobe, and I asked my wife, "I'm like, how long till that comes off?" She looks up from her tablet, like, "What?" Like that? And then came off. I could tell. I called that
You knew
shot.
that one
It
was
was not
happening.
a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, wow.
It was the most telegraphed thing.
Okay.
But Addison Rae, Tate McRae, they're both, to me, it's like they're very similar looking.
About the same.
They
Yeah.
look
Alex
the
Earl,
same.
Alex Cooper, they're all the
pop
same.
chanteuses, though. And then Sabrina Carpenter's in a different class
Sure, because she's
musically and in
singer.
terms of stardom. But it's just like, okay.
I
they're
see
all-
people, they're famous. I don't know what they do anymore. Like a lot of them are influencers.
There you go.
So I rely on my wife to tell me what's going on with these
That
people.
was one of the moments for me is when my daughter went to the Warp Tour. And back in the day when that was the thing, the Vans Warp Tour, and you just like drop your kid off and they would go in and there's all these bands like the skate bands and the, punk power.
Yeah,
for
sort of
sure.
like
yes.
that version of
Punk bands
Summerfest, right?
Yeah, so they would do it at the Summerfest grounds. And the bands would do always meet and greets, and they were kind of up and coming bands. My friends Dropkick Murphys were on that years ago when it first started, right? But there were always these meet and greets, and I was like, did you meet any of the bands? No, we mostly stayed in line to meet the YouTubers. And this was like when YouTubers were just taking off, like coming out of like
Before
Vine.
Mr. Beast was giving all his money away.
Yes, it was like, I'm like, YouTubers? Yeah, people who are big stars on YouTube. And then I realized that there was a universe that I was not aware of.
Yeah.
There was an ecosystem that I was
Unfamiliar
not
with your game.
aware of, and there still is. Like, I don't know, Clavicular. You're watching these, these influencers who
It's only getting
have
bigger.
all this social capital,
Vegas
and they
Matt.
operate outside the sphere of many people. But I was struck watching Addison Rae. Like, I couldn't tell you Tate McRae, Addison Rae, and Sabrina Carpenter's more platinum blonde than the other two.
Yeah, the Tate McRae one I was first introduced to when Diego Pavia was trying to trade off his mom with Theo Vaughn for a date with Tate McRae.
I remember
then,
that.
I'm like, wait, who's this Tate McRae? Wait, Theo Vaughn, there's no chance my man's going to help anybody get a date with Tate McRae because I think that one's going to be outside of Diego Pavia's 5'9" wheelhouse potentially going forward. There's some
5'9".
serious talent there. Some
6'7".
Serious talent there. Serious talent there with Tate McRae.
Yeah. I agree.
Serious talent.
I guess I
Holy
just
cow.
like knowing that
And Addison
someone's
Rae.
like more famous for just not being famous anymore. But maybe that's what it is now. I have to throw my hands up and admit that's just part of it.
But
Well,
I do well, and that's the thing.
But
Army,
you guys have a lifeline now. Is that when your kids get to the age when they're consuming the culture, you will be osmosis. You will pick up the things that are in
absolutely.
the zeitgeist there. Like my kid's in her 20s. Like I don't get that anymore. I don't get that. It's not, and we don't live in the same house anymore. So it's like I don't get that.
that's the one where
Feedback loop.
by osmosis, all of a sudden you're like, wait, what am I listening to? Okay, sweet. All right, I guess.
Okay, what is that?
don't
I guess that's a big
understand that
deal.
one.
Yeah.
I guess that one. I've heard
What
that
are
one
they
15
into?
times now. That makes a little more
those
sense.
kids.
Right now, all he's into is Siri. She can do absolutely no wrong. This tells him every single answer he ever wants. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the scores of this Coastal Athletic Conference and Ivy League, right? Every score of
He's
the
looking
day.
for lines on Russian soccer.
He's getting every score of the
Hey,
day.
Siri.
For every single team's lineup, I'm like, buddy, we don't need to know this.
All right,
I need to see Puka Makua.
All right, we take time out every once in a while because we have on one of the TVs here, we have the 4-letter network that calls itself the worldwide leader in sports. The dumb question of the day: who has the most to gain from a Super Bowl win, Seahawks or Patriots?
Now we're talking.
I love
That's
stuff
what
like
I'm
that.
talking about.
Yes.
Who has the most to gain from a what?
Like somebody would say there's less to gain from some.
Well, the
Super Bowl
Patriots
win.
already have a crowded trophy case, so therefore Seahawks have more to gain.
Yeah, but none of those are
Like,
Drake
what?
Mays. Yeah.
Whatever producer fired that one up, that guy gets a gold star
Oh,
this
come on.
morning.
He worked hard for
Whoever
that one.
pitched that one in the meeting definitely deserves some
Who's
credit.
under more pressure entering this season, Aaron Judge or Shohei?
Yeah.
What?
Who do you believe in more in the big moment?
Boy,
I know who has more to lose in this one.
This
How
is-
about that one?
this is the business
The
we have
Vikings?
chosen, boys. All right, so
Yes.
buy or
Fired up,
sell.
man.
Give us your props. What do you got for buying or selling? Oh, are you buying or selling? And let's Billy get a sandwich because Armin's about to go on a rant here.
Oh God, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Come on now.
We're a minute from going to a break here, but Armin's about to go on a rant. You buying or selling Fanatics' apology for not having the
Oh,
requisite
yeah.
Super Bowl
Oh,
jerseys
come
due to
on.
unprecedented demand? We apologize that we don't have product. We let our fans down. We own that, and we are sorry.
Yeah, the not enough jerseys for fans. And Billy also tagged me in a tweet this morning, and I feel seen. He said, "Hey, Armin might be onto something."
Might be onto something.
God, all I'm saying is
Fanatics
it's not
is
that
ruining
it's,
fandom.
it's not that surprising because in the 90s you had 8 to 10 manufacturers out there making stuff because there was no official licensee, and therefore as we all know, is old economic as pie. The competition created better product, better demand. Fanatics has been a crap product, a crap distributor. It is what it is. It makes it worse to be a fan because you have to deal with Fanatics.
This is the apology crafted, and they probably workshopped this with lawyers and PR
This one is
people.
so good.
Just
That
terrible.
second
Fans,
paragraph's my favorite
We've
one.
seen your jersey feedback, and we take it very seriously. We've let Patriots and Seahawks fans down with product availability. We own that, and we are sorry.
What are you
This
gonna do
Super Bowl
about it?
matchup has created unprecedented challenges for us because of the massive surge in demand we saw from Patriots and Seahawks fans. Both teams went from missing the playoffs last season to being in the Super Bowl, an incredibly rare occurrence that led to these two fan bases buying nearly 400% more jerseys since Thanksgiving versus last year.
We thought both teams were going to suck, Drew.
Even though we ordered substantially more
That's it,
jerseys
Billy.
for these teams than ever before, we've struggled to meet the overwhelming demand to keep team color jerseys in stock, which we know is your expectation. As sports fans, we understand your frustration, and we will work tirelessly to be better. Are you working tirelessly, or are people in China working tirelessly?
Thank you, Michael Rubin.
I think
Yeah.
I think the most disrespectful thing is he understands fans or whatever they said. We're one of the fans. You're not, hey, listen, all I'm saying is you want to make it right, then make it right. All right. I don't really believe you want to that badly. I think you want to create demand for your product. You don't like getting some bad press, but you're the only option. You're the only car on the lot. So hey, Michael Rubin, why don't you buy a
Bring
jersey?
back Reebok.
Reebok.
Yeah. You shouldn't be allowed to
Apex,
have a Super Bowl
champion,
party.
Russell.
No,
Boycott
I'm
the Super Bowl party.
1,000% with you on that. But it's going to probably be way too fun.
Probably the best one.
I was going to say it's probably way more fun than the media part.
All right, yeah, they don't even have the ones they're putting out. Don't even have like the proper logo.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
They-
wearing they're throwing out the all white Seahawk ones as the only ones. The Patriots are the team wearing white.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
unreal.
not. They're just
Incredible.
It's one thing to not have them available, but the product's not that good anyway.
We're bringing in more team color jerseys daily and offering alternative options in the meantime, aka we're emptying the warehouse.
Nobody believes you.
We've
dude.
heard questions about the
As we
quality of
can.
these alternate jerseys and can assure you that despite some unflattering photos, these jerseys are identical to the standard Nike replica game jersey, one of the highest consumer rated items we carry, built on the core template that has been unchanged since Nike took over NFL jerseys in 2012. That said, if you've ordered any product that you're not fully satisfied with, including one of these alternate jerseys, it can always be returned free of charge via the Fanatics app, part of our long-standing return policy. Fans who purchase online via NFL Shop or Patriot Seahawks team stores can do the same.
You know what? You know what? And Michael Rubin's worth $11 billion. Go buy a jersey for everybody then.
Which will be awesome. You can return it and not wear it on Sunday when your
It's
team's in the Super Bowl. The whole reason why you bought it.
Spectacular. Yep. Buying or selling Super Bowl jerseys. I'm just eating popcorn and watching this because it's making me laugh.
I don't feel bad for going to DH kid. I used to feel bad. I used to do it, but like feel bad about it. I don't feel
Not
bad.
anymore.
They're
Nope.
better.
Nope.
They are better.
They're better.
They're far better.
All right. We've reached halftime of the huddle. Sadly, our halftime correspondent, Scott Dolphin, is at Boots on the Beach in the Dominican Republic with his friends from the country station down the hall. But
So jealous.
we're gonna muddle through halftime. It's the huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's halftime of the Huddle. We're halfway through the show. Tuesday edition. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you from headquarters. 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com. Talk and text line for your buy and sell props. Prop bets was just a buy or sell topic. Fanatics, jerseys. Oh, my goodness. We're getting some in. But one of the things I definitely wanted to hit, and it's probably bigger than just a buy or sell prop for us to talk about.
But I'll be buying it.
You're buying or selling that all the people who are, shall we say, kvetching right now and worried about the Brewers and the TV deal and them going to MLB and it's going to be Brewers TV and it won't be FanDuel, that they just need to coin the phrase made popular by a certain quarterback at number 12, relax.
RELAX.
We just lived through, in the middle of the Packers season, that we switched from one flagship FM signal to another.
I heard about that.
And it was relatively seamless for fans. They were able to find it. And I heard Rick Schlesinger. I was on the Zoom call yesterday when Rick Schlesinger was explaining the mechanics of this. And there's still some stuff that's uncertain, but Brewers games are still going to be available however you want to get them. And it might even be more seamless, and it'll be a better streaming product for all the people who had trouble with the FanDuel app over recent years.
Oh my God. And the FanDuel app was a much better experience than the Bally Sports app.
Oh, yeah.
But the one, and all of us that lived through that experience, this is going to be a better situation. Will it potentially be more expensive? Possibly.
It never goes down.
It never goes down. But from my standpoint, Drew, and of a potential gambler and one that enjoys that side of it, I'm really stoked about the possibility of them being on MLB TV and being able to watch it alongside the rest of that phenomenal streaming product.
That's the thing. And I don't know what the tiers are going to be, but they were throwing out like $19.99 a month or what, like $99 for the year.
For Brewers games, I believe.
Brewers
games. I think a lot of people would rather do that.
What's the tier to get? I want the whole thing. I want MLB TV the way I've had it for years with Brewers games, and then be able to watch it all.
So I want to say, and again, this is, do not quote me on this. It's just pure speculation from what I remember seeing online of graphics of teams that have done this in the past, right? The Padres have been doing this for what, 3 years, maybe now, 2 or 3 years now. And there have been a couple of teams that have had to go this way, where I think MLB TV is $160 for the year, $150, $160 for the year, and it goes to $200 if you add your team as well and get the local.
Makes sense.
So, and from that standpoint, again, you say, well, it makes sense to go from $100 to $200. You experience MLB TV, and you will understand why certain individuals cape up so hard for this one. This product,
good news, I think. Yeah.
Outside of like Netflix, I think MLB has the best streaming platform, bar none.
And the Masters has a good app, I think.
And the Masters has a phenomenal one.
I mean, if you go bang for the buck, it's better. It's a better product than Sunday Ticket.
Way better product than Sunday Ticket.
It's more games, and like there's nothing better than, all right, I'm up, and it's like, what am I going to do? It's like, or I see there's a no-hitter, and like San Diego's playing Seattle. There's a no-hitter. I got to turn that on.
And if you love baseball, or you have family members that love baseball, there's always a game on, right? And that's the nice thing. And it's like, it's the old retailer's trick. Hey, you want to upgrade that for just 30 cents more? Of course, I'll just get the large. Yeah, okay. And that's nothing wrong with doing that.
They'll spin that thing around, and it's not necessarily a tip. It's like the White Castle deal. No tips or tricks on this one.
Supersize it.
You're gonna supersize it. You're gonna get a better deal. They also they'll condense the game down into 9 minutes and watch it the next day.
It's a nice product.
It's a phenomenal product. The ability to move hey, Jeff Levering's calling on the radio tonight. You can listen to the radio call while watching the Brewers product on television, and it sync up seamlessly. Like, it is a flawless product.
There's going to be a lot of you out there that's, it's going to go through, like, you have to help your dad or your uncle figure it out, or
there
your
will be some time.
But once you do, they're going to say, this is great, because how many times do they want to sync the radio up to the TV and all that stuff?
And there will be the times when they're on, like the Brewers being more of a marquee franchise these days. It's going to be on Big Fox, Apple, Peacock, and there's going to be those diversions.
Those exist,
but you're going to get your 145, right?
Yes.
YouTube exclusives. But my thing is, I'm still using a dial-up phone and driving the old Model T. I still have a cable subscription. I'm one of the few, the proud. It's a bundle. I've dabbled in other things. I still have a Spectrum cable subscription.
Okay, so
I think I might be coming back.
And so the thing is, like, I didn't, as far as I know, I didn't have to pay extra to get FanDuel
Nothing
Sports
changed.
Wisconsin.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think nothing's going to change. It'll just be a different place on the dial, which is like, that's hardly a problem, right? Rick Schlesinger said it yesterday. Like, when people are used to the channel 31, it'll be on a channel.
It'll be on a channel. Yeah.
It'll be probably closer to the MLB channels in the 1300s if you're a Spectrum subscriber, but you're going to find it. And it's people will find the games. Like, people are tech savvy enough and they'll be able to subscribe. But now you have more options. If you don't have YouTube TV or you don't have cable, you don't have any of that stuff, you can still get this, and you can put it and stream it from your phone to cast it to your smart TV. There's a gajillion ways to enjoy it. And that's what they're doing, is giving you options. And basically it's the MLB TV package. What's it worth to cover that blackout? That's a big one. Yes. And that's the thing. So and now what's the blackout area is interesting to me, is like, because there were people in Iowa that couldn't get Brewers game. Like, there's some weirdness there that they got to get rid of. But I want everything. I want the whole thing. I don't being a cable subscriber, I'll get Brewers games, I think, as part of my basic package.
I think a part of your basic one,
but I'll still get the MLB package just to watch other games. And that's what I've been doing for years.
No doubt. And I really, really appreciate the MLB package, because like Aaron says, when it comes to baseball, I don't watch anybody but the Brewers. This is perfect. But I don't watch the Yankees like that low life Billy. I also like, you can watch any random game that rolls through.
Spectacular.
Low life.
But I'll tell you this, like, their wrap up daily on that channel is awesome. Better than any of the things that happen. As much as I love the NFL, and we're watching the 4-letter network, I don't know what NFL media is going to be going forward. You don't necessarily know what NFL Sunday Ticket is going to look like going forward after that sale gets passed and the purchase ends up getting cleared by the FCC of ESPN buying NFL media yesterday. This one I'm pretty confident in, and how good and pure and crystal clear the MLB TV package is. I love it. I'm excited for it. However, Drew, I did wonder if there was going to be a last ditch effort by some, television competitor in the city. I wonder if maybe next year there will be an opportunity where everybody's able to get their ducks in a row and say, hey, we can make a run at bringing Brewers games on here, and that could shift the television landscape
in Milwaukee.
It
might be the 1824, but now the Brewers are going to have to sell this and sell. They're going to have to, and it'll impact their radio rights. But it's the way the sausage is made, and we've talked about this. And when they traded Freddie Peralta, I'm like, well, their TV deal's in flux, and for the Brewers that means a lot, right? Because that's a big chunk of their revenue was from the FanDuel deal. Now, Rick Schlesinger was asked this during the Zoom call yesterday, and Armin, if you would please, let's share his answer with folks.
I mean, I think it's not a secret that the economics with MLB media are Brewers TV are probably less than what we were looking at FanDuel. But I will tell you, I don't anticipate, and I'm not worried about any impact on player payroll or other operations. The business of baseball has gotten really complicated. So we have, a lot of line items for revenue and maybe a few more for expenses. And when the numbers change, when revenue numbers in one bucket change either up or down, or expense bucket numbers change up or down, it's all part of a larger mix. We are not surprised. This is not coming as a surprise. Whenever we model these things out, we always have contingencies. And candidly, for local media, because of uncertainties, and how quickly the universe is changing, you have contingencies for your revenue. So this is not a surprise to us. The economics are not a surprise. Matt Arnold has flexibility consistent with past years, Lance. If there's a deal to be made to add a player that makes us better, Mark's going to say, let's do it. I mean, we're in a very competitive cycle of this team, and I like our team. And if you look at it from an objective perspective, you're probably saying team's pretty well set, but things can change. So I don't anticipate, Lance, that this change in our broadcast situation is going to have a direct or even indirect effect on player payroll or anything.
There you go.
Now, for everybody out there that's always, the Brewers are cheap, Mark is cheap, this is what happens to us. I find Rick to be trustworthy, and when he says that, I believe him, that they have contingencies available, that Mark will pay the money, all these things. And
this is where it gets really interesting in the new CBA. When Billy and I just we were at Metro Market. A couple weeks or so ago on a Saturday. We're hanging out with Leroy Butler, Curtis Granderson. When we finished interviewing Curtis Granderson, we were packing up our equipment. I was asking Curtis, I'm like, what are you hearing about the CBA? And he goes, oh, it's going to be interesting, because he was an active guy in Players Association. And he's like, it's going to be interesting because like the owners got to settle their thing first, and then they can come to the players. The thing with the owners is, how do you how do you try to get more equity between what the Dodgers bring in and the Yankees and Mets as opposed to the Brewers and the Padres and Cardinals, right? And so they're trying to get them to share some of their money. Ideally, they would like an NFL model where everybody does their TV deals through MLB TV, and then it's all shared. But try to pry that money away from the Dodgers. Good luck. It's not going to happen.
Good luck. And I think the only thing that as weirdly as it sounds, maybe the way the last 2 years have transpired with the Dodgers allows them to loosen their purse strings a little bit because they've entrenched so much marketing money in Japan and overseas. Like they're just the amount of cash they're getting is disgusting from the Japanese market with the stars they have. But like otherwise, they're making $300+ million on their TV deal, while the Brewers reportedly were upwards of their last one. I think that was public was what 35 or something like that.
40. Yeah.
So that discrepancy, I don't know how you make it up, especially when I do believe there's more people like Aaron on our text line that say, I kind of watch my team and my team only. Yeah. It's tough with the NFL model because everybody wants to watch randomly a 49ers and Colts game, whether it's on Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football. It becomes part of the viewing habits. If baseball can get somewhere back into that, it's, we were talking to Curtis. He's on that TBS broadcast crew. That one helps a bit, but they need more of those national audiences to be in on the games and interested on some of these productions. Because, otherwise they've sold it to Roku. And I mean, if we're struggling to tell our parents where to find the Brewers for every single night for the Sunday matinee 11 a.m. start in Boston, I think there are a lot of people that were missing that one on the Roku channel.
No, my mom, she puts her hands up. I can't figure it out. I just can't do it. I'll do something else. That's what my mom can't figure it out.
That's it. That's about it. Yeah.
But you know what? For those who still have cable, like you said, if there's still a channel, I don't know. I'm with Billy. I consider this good news. I know there's a lot of people that their frustration was, money's always a thing, but more than the money, it was ease of use and it working and not being able to find it. Like the app doesn't work. I can't find it, or I'm blacked out or something like that.
If you're a YouTube TV subscriber and you pay $100, you're going to get all the Brewers games. Or $19.99 a month.
YouTube TV, I'm not positive because YouTube TV, we didn't get FanDuel.
Yeah, but I think this will be.
So this will, okay.
They will. That's their mission, is to be all platforms and be available on all platforms for a fee.
We'll see. That I like even more. But like I said,
it's going to be an add-on. But
it'll be an add-on. But you know what else is the add-on? 4K, which is maybe the dumbest thing I have ever purchased on that thing. You know how many times I think I've watched one of those games in 4K?
No,
like 4 times. And is it good? Yes. Do I remember to change it every single time it's available?
No.
Hell no.
And that's something I never cared about.
Sell 4K.
Yeah, because it's like I don't know what's good for me if I don't know. Ignorance is bliss. So before it existed, I didn't think I needed something better. I'm like, this is fine with me.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not like
I was still trying to figure out what the difference between HD TV and HD TV was.
Right. I'm not buying those curved TVs either. Those still selling those things?
I think
they were trying the curved TVs.
Oh, yeah, they're selling it.
877.
You just got a Potawatomi Sportsbook to go see the curved screen.
There you go, yeah.
Exactly.
877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Hit us with your buy or sell propositions. But yeah, the Brewers thing is interesting, and it's a kerfuffle now, and people are panicking about it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine, and it might actually be better.
Might be better. You might enjoy it even.
And it's still going to be Lev and Rock and BA and Sophia.
That was the important thing, Drew. I thought that was very, very important to say. The whole broadcast team's going to be the same.
They're all coming back. Now,
Timmy's coming back. Vinny's coming back.
Pre and post will be a little different. I was wondering because the Padres had to skin back that operation. Yeah. The Brewers have one of those rare markets where people actually tune into the pre and post game shows.
Oh, God.
They're that loyal.
We love it.
A lot of markets, they don't. I thought Brewers would just, the station would spark up at 6:30 for a 6:40 first pitch. Like, no, I think it's going to be the same for home games. Road games will be a little different.
Road
game production will be different because they don't have the set in the studio.
Yep.
So for Brewers Live, but we'll just stay tuned. It's going to be okay though.
I'm excited, and I'm almost more excited about whenever I'm on Vinny Rottino's X account and I get to see him cutting up posts of a high school baseball tape. That's when you know ball is back. That's when you know ball is getting close. Vinny Rottino's in baseball showcase season. We're within 2 weeks from pitchers and catchers.
We're 9 days away.
And Drew, we were game planning. I think I'm going to need your keen eye on this to figure out what week we're going out for spring training,
I'll look
because
that up.
we
Yes.
were doing that math yesterday, and it's definite math. And we need to be good on those Super Bowl prop bets for us to be able to make that math work.
We will chat about that. Remember, coming up after 7:00, we've got a concert announcement and a ticket giveaway. Where else would you rather be? You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We are huddling up on this Tuesday in the Good Land. Drew, Armin, and Billy bringing it to you. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. Worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. Streaming live on Facebook, X, and of course, YouTube. Shout out to everybody commenting. You can have those little side conversations. I like those. Just ride the wave.
Almost 1,000 people hanging out with us here.
Buy and sell Tuesday.
Got a full rack.
Good one right up here from Mike Witt. Buy or sell. Giannis will still be a buck on Friday. I think this show is consistent with our take. He is going to be a buck on Friday, and it'll be interesting to see if he'll be a buck on a Friday in November of 2026.
Sure.
And the longer this goes, Drew, I think the more and more that's becoming a potential possibility. The longer it goes, the more I'm starting to think a little bit more of Jim Osarski's report, and maybe going to try to go and stand on the other side of the glass, where Armin Sarian's on the island of Giannis Antetokounmpo still potentially finishes his career as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm going down with the ship. I mean, if that's what it is, a sinking ship, I'm going down with it. I'll believe it. No, I'm coming around to the reality that he might not be a buck for the rest of his career, but I don't feel like giving up until it's done. Until that alert comes through. Are you
just listening to the song? There will be no white flag above my bar.
That's good.
If Giannis gets traded, it's going to be one of those. You'll know exactly where you were when you heard it, who you were with.
Yeah, I was just like Mike. I was in the produce section at Pick and Save.
And booked it out of the store.
Tried to. You can't get reception in the grocery store. I needed to be on the internet at that moment. So.
We were on the air. We let Hunter break the news to their smart, good-looking listeners.
I remember when Giannis first time the Supermax, I was on the air with Bob Brainerd. It was a great electric moment.
And I still remember where we were when we got the Woj bomb of the Bucks acquiring Dame Lillard. Drew and I were riding up for a football feast, and then we got to flip on Armin and Tim Allen breaking down the exact show.
Middle of a baseball show.
In the middle of a baseball show, rolling through it.
Timmy.
Fellas, what do you? I got one quick buy or sell before we flip into the 7 o'clock hour, which is the special hour, announcement hour as well.
Right.
What do you guys think, buy or sell? This one from Rick Barnes, Tennessee head coach, in the apology that his potential SID is forcing him to throw in here in the midst of a quick statement.
And again, some of the passes that we throw, and I mean, I don't know what to say other than sometimes I wonder if my guys are betting on games. I shouldn't say that, but that's erase that. I don't want to say that. But I just wonder what's happening. I mean, because I know we're too good of players to do that. Was that a bad? I apologize. I shouldn't have said that, but the fact is,
Rick Barnes trying to figure out why his team can't keep throwing the ball to the actual team. Why do they keep throwing it to the other team? Some of these passes we're making, sometimes they're just wondering if my guys are betting on games.
I shouldn't have said that. Erase that. You just said it in a presser. It's forever.
See, the problem
now,
is,
if he hadn't said it, AI could have generated him saying it, but he said it.
10 years ago, everyone would have laughed it up, but now it's too real to be dismissed. Like, that's the problem, really, is that it's definitely happened in this game now enough that, Rick says it, and in the back of his mind, there's truth to it.
You know that there's the one sinking moment where he's sitting here like, son of a gun. How on earth is he throwing the thing into the fourth row?
Yeah.
Does he got to have some kind of under?
You're starting to question it. It's human nature. And we haven't talked much about that a lot, about the players that got nabbed for, kind of throwing games or whatever you want to call it. But the coaches, I mean, those are coaches at that level that are fighting for careers, that their careers are on the line. And they have to be frustrated knowing that their players were involved in something like that because they're trying to win and make a career out of this thing at, the smaller schools in D1.
There might not be a better moment than the coach at least voicing it. And two, as you mentioned, Armin, the folks that were sitting home waiting and waking up each morning, hoping somebody validates the thought that they've had in their mind every single time they're watching one of these games. There he is. He said it. He just admitted to it. Look at how they're just so blazing with it right in our faces. Or
it's wild.
Or it's a joke and he's realizing, hey, let's all calm down. Look at you. You were excited when I brought this one up.
White flag, Dido. It was.
We chatted about the Brewers and they're going to MLB with the TV deal. The Brewers, Marlins, Royals, Cardinals, Reds, and Rays have joined the ranks of MLB-produced teams. And now the Braves, Angels, and Tigers are free agents. And the word is that Angels and Tigers eventually are going to end up on MLB 2. And the Braves might look to create their own kind of regional network or glom onto something else.
Wow, far days from the TBS days, huh?
Yeah, because they're no longer like that. They parted ways. They're no longer share ownership there. But those are some big teams like the Angels?
Those are big time numbers.
market.
Those are big teams and big teams that have a huge following. And also, Drew, it's the first step for the MLB owners doing exactly what you said. Curtis Granderson mentioned they need to do. They need to get a big enough conglomerate where they're able to sell this to, as much as we don't want to say it, ESPN or a streaming service for all the rights.
That's
where
right.
this is going.
Concert announcement now. Good morning, Wisconsin. Welcome to the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you from headquarters. 877-794-1973 gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Are we the breaking news show?
Finally, I like
Breaking
this.
News. Big news.
David Baker would have never let this happen.
Adam Schefter reporting today that Robert Kraft did not receive enough votes to make it to the Hall of Fame. He was one of 5 finalists among contributors, coaches, and senior players. He is not going into the Hall of Fame. So Belichick and Kraft getting snubbed. I guess the Patriots will just have to win the Super Bowl to make things right for the universe.
Yeah, I guess they'll just have to do that. I guess that'll be the only way that this weekend isn't the one that they just piss in misery and cry about for decades. It is okay. I think
Emergency press conference for Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, I think the world will turn. I for one I think the Belichick one is more egregious. This though, I shake my head and I do feel bad for one individual. The former president and executive director of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, David Baker, would never have let this stuff happen. Nope. Would never have let this nonsense go about where all of a sudden we're hearing this leaked out before they do it at NFL Honors.
There you go.
Before they do this at NFL Honors on Thursday night and allow everybody the moment. And for all the individuals like Leroy Butler that did have to go and sit through the dog and pony show of sit in a hotel room sequestered away 1,800 miles away
for the knock that never came.
Well, for the knock that never came, and then the random phone call of saying, "Hey, by the way, we have a jet for you at 7:30. You should probably be on it." Like that kind of stuff. For this to now be, well, it's going to leak out randomly throughout the week. The Pro Football Hall of Fame has worked really, really hard for a long time for this kind of stuff to never happen, and they have to be sick about the way that this is all transpiring.
Where is this leak coming from, and why aren't we plugging this leak? You're absolutely right, Billy. That's a great point in all this, is that all of a sudden now Schefter's getting all these little dribs and drabs of information.
Is it as simple as the participants saying, I'm not going to that honors thing unless you tell me
unless you tell me right away. Yeah, you better tell me now.
Starting, I ain't departing.
Well, I think they heard that.
That's the famous quote.
I mean, I'm depart. I think they heard, I think they heard Leroy's famous story about it, finally getting that knock on the door, and it was Antonio Freeman that went out to get some food, and it was like, come on, man.
Come on, I'm trying to wait for this
knock, and it was Antonio, and that was always a funny story. No, I think you're right, Billy, and I don't know. Maybe there's one guy that says, "Hey, look, I was right. Hey, Chris, come on, Chris, I was right. Hey, man, they should be shaking in their shoes. They should be shaking in their shoes right now, nervous about it."
Rob's been calling it.
I got to tip my cap to my pal Dan Needles because that was one of his favorite sports quotes. It comes from Gary Templeton, the '79 All-Star game. Good. He didn't want to be a reserve, and he said, "If I ain't starting, I ain't departing."
Gosh, that's great. That is good stuff. Good.
That is, you got to put that on a T-shirt.
People denied saying it, but it's a great quote that's attributed to him.
Now, Drew,
Larry Boa got his starting spot, and he thought he should have gotten it.
I'll go with if indeed it is so they can cease the ridiculousness that was, where they made the guys go and be there and wait to find out if they're going, and then all of a sudden rush to get into the gold jacket that they've been waiting, or actually the cut or the polo shirt because they'll get the jacket when they go in Canton. Like that, I'm fine with. But it does feel like this is randomly sprinkled out that somebody's just getting the access to this information, and I got to imagine people at the Hall of Fame are upset.
What about the videos of just going to the guy's place and like just filming that and doing it on social and surprising him with the great news, and then there you go.
Yeah, well, and maybe that's what this is. Maybe they're going around and they've filmed all of them, and they said, "Hey, Bill or Rob, by the way, don't worry about it. We're not calling you. Like we're not calling you in Santa Clara. We're not worried about where you're going to be. You can go and take your jet after whatever stop you need for a massage before the game."
And clearly somebody's voice was strong enough in that room to say, we're not letting any of these guys in that cheated. And I'm starting to think about Tom Brady.
What?
You think Kraft was a big deal in Belichick? If they leave Tom Brady out of a first ballot Hall of Fame, I don't know.
What a comeback for Ken Anderson.
Maybe. I mean, that's a huge moment for him.
What a day for Ken Anderson.
Yeah.
Been waiting a long time, and finally is going to be one of these guys that gets
You're right, though. I hadn't connected that dot. If Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, Brady?
Well, I only did because that's what Rob Parker said. He should be worried. And, I mean, they can't do that, right? But if they're doing it to these guys,
not after what happened with Belichick, I wouldn't think.
You think that they would reverse course because
but
of public pressure?
Isn't that different though? Because this isn't the founders and coaches.
I know it would.
It's a different kettle.
But it's the same.
Yeah, it's not. But
it's the same voters, right?
But but will there be protests for Deflategate or Spygate or people that don't like?
Well, he will get votes
avocado
against
ice cream.
Yeah, he will get votes.
Well, no, that's like I don't know, man. It's like.
So would you think it would be different because it's like just the 5 guys modern era? I think it's what you have to vote for 5 guys out of the 15 finalists that it ends up being. It is the different process for the voting.
Different process.
But I would be interested, Drew. I mean, you're on the voting side in baseball. You've seen guys that have been so steadfast of saying, no, this is what I'm doing with my vote,
That's right.
and I am going to make them sit out a year. I wonder if there'd be enough, but it's not the 40 votes that you need. It's just you need to be the highest vote getter of 5 out of the 15.
That's
correct?
Right.
That's just the process
that's
of it.
their process.
So the math would be more difficult than it was in this one.
In baseball, you need 75% of the ballot. And if people turn in an empty ballot, that's a vote against you, basically.
I would be. Oh my gosh, it will be. I'll tell you, I'm excited.
Well,
I am now excited for when Tom Brady comes up on the ballot to find out if he's voted into the Hall of Fame. I'll watch that almost more intently than a game that year between, say, like the Saints and Browns.
They're going to try and find out who didn't vote because he won't get 100. Just like Jeter, they'll find that one voter and they'll
grass
dox
from the knoll. We're trying to manipulate things so that when Brady does get the call, he'll go in with Belichick and Kraft.
Well, now that would be nice. That would be a sweet one for the Patriots fans. That would be interesting.
All right, and then this is a sidebar.
They all want
Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft going to the Hall of Fame. Who cares? I know people were mad when Bud Staley got into the Hall of Fame.
It's a canary in the coal mine, though.
Yeah,
I don't care. I think he deserves it. I mean, it's not going to affect me if I was a Patriots fan, would it really affect me as much as it does?
If this was Ron Wolf,
well, sure, but that was the GM, right? So this is an owner.
Bob Harlan.
But he would be in that same tier. He'd be in that same puddle in that same huddle right now.
Okay, how about if Herb Cole didn't go in because the Bucks won a title, and I don't know. It does. I loved Herb as an owner, but
Herb didn't own the Bucks when they won a title.
No.
Well, right, he didn't technically, but he sold it to the guy. Yeah, he has a good point too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right, so and
I'm just trying to think of a comparison.
Preview for Hot Take Hump Day, but one of my least favorite things in sports is in the confetti's flying and a team wins the championship, and I got to watch the owner get the trophy.
Like, what did he do except own the money?
Give it to the player. Like, I get it, but it's like
they got to get their first statement in. Yep, they got to get their first statement in. They got to get their
screen time, and like that's just that just it sucks the life out of the joy of the ceremony to me to see some billionaire get a trophy.
Unless it's like a figurehead, like Red Auerbach was, because they didn't really have an owner that was consistent. The Celtics, like Jerry Jones was the owner and GM. There are some things.
As long as I don't have to listen to the vice president of Capital One, right? Like that to me, that's where the bolds just ruin it so much for me. That like this is so much quicker that it's like, all right, quick, one pit stop on the owner. I'll hear from Steve Bisciotti or something. He'll drop one quick bar, try to grab the microphone from whoever is standing up on the podium, and then we'll get to the important guys.
In our lifetime, I don't think we have to worry about Jerry Jones being handed the Lombardi.
I think that's true.
Okay with
that part. Not
have to get to a championship game first.
When that visual of him and Barry Switzer fighting over the trophy, pulling it back to each other, that was so funny.
Well, and you think of those shots, an interesting one for the Seattle Seahawks, where as one side, the owner is trying to desperately get into the Hall of Fame, and we're wondering when he is going to. The other side, sadly, Paul Allen, the former owner of the Seahawks, is no longer with us.
Right.
And due to his wishes, he had mentioned it in his will to his family that he had left the Portland Trailblazers as well as the Seahawks too. I want you guys selling these. So, all right, when I'm gone, I don't want to be the one to do it, but I want you to sell it. And I don't want this to be something that's a point of contention between my kids and my whole family, where the other side, the Allen family, is potentially going to be accepting it and then saying, sweet, we have the most coveted asset in all of professional sports.
Who wants it?
Welcome. Come one,
bidders.
come all bidders.
That's
because we have the Super Bowl champions up for sale for potentially the first time in football history.
Buy or sell, a great, valuable asset worth billions of dollars.
Yeah. Seattle Seahawks. Oh, my goodness. All right, 877-794-1973. We've been teasing it. We have a concert announcement for you right here on the Huddle. we have tickets to give away, and we will do that in just about 15 minutes. Billy's got 15 minutes to come up with a trivia question of some kind.
I'm excited for this one.
But the show is August 22nd. Our last one was September 20th. This is right before the waning days of summer.
Yes.
Before Labor Day.
Before you
August
go to Lambeau Field to watch the
22nd.
Badgers beat the Fighting Irish.
Yes. August 22nd, there will be a show at Alpine Valley Music Theater in East Troy, Wisconsin. And that show is part of the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour 2026 featuring Tim McGraw. With Winchester 49 and Timothy Wayne, the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour.
What's up, living legend?
Mr. Faith Hill.
Yeah, in one of the absolute favorite things for my man Armin Sarian, Samuel Timothy McGraw.
You know what I'm saying? None of these guys use their first names. They don't do it. They just don't do it. Now, at least that's actually his name, because obviously Tug and all, and the baseball lineage for Mr. McGraw. But now, if your name was Samuel, would you use that or Tim? I like Samuel, actually. I like Sammy, but yeah, Sammy McGraw. All right, let's go.
Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
From The Blind Side.
I was just going to say that's where I know him best
Tim
from.
McGraw from The Blind Side, country music legend. Alpine Valley, August 22nd, East Troy Music Theater. Oh, baby. We are going to be giving them away on air here. We will have the first pair that we will give away coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. So Tim McGraw tickets coming your way in 15 minutes.
And we have 5 pairs to give away this week. So one of these days we'll double up. Might be today, might not be. I'm not. It's up to you guys. You know. Really. I
was gonna say I think maybe that's like a 2 for on a Thursday or something like that.
Not bad with me.
We bring something up there on a 3P Thursday. I do like though. I'm glad that you mentioned The Blind Side, because there was a point in time. That's when I really thought about Tim McGraw, and I was very, very jealous because Sandra Bullock, as potentially not factual as that movie was.
Oh yeah. Now we know that.
Was killing them sidelines. She was killing them sidelines. That was a phenomenal look at that time.
You were a fan?
I was a big fan.
I think to some extent we all were. Yeah.
That was a hard one to not be. Then, you get into a boat and blindfold somebody, and then the allure became a little bit different.
Are you buying or selling? This is going to be a long one. But first, I have to ask, where are
I missed that movie? Yeah.
Where are Lonzo and LiAngelo these days? Like, I don't hear about them
So
anymore.
Lonzo is potentially going to be on the move. I think he's with the Cavs. I believe he got traded in the offseason from the Bulls to the Cavs. He might be a part of the Garland trade.
He is on the Cavs.
He is on the Cavs. I could potentially see him being moved on that Garland deal. Or, LiAngelo, I know, has got a budding music career.
Yes,
he was swerving that corner.
Swerve the corner. Whoa. Hey, listen, he did get a hit out of it. And the guy I'm surprised I haven't heard from is LeVar. We used to hear from LeVar Ball every day, and we haven't heard from him for a long time. And one of his kids actually made it to become a star.
And frankly, he was right.
Sort of.
He kind of said that LaMelo was the best of them all.
Oh, he did say that.
And it
once.
does appear that he's clearly going to be the best in the NBA.
I'm just wondering, you buying or selling that at some point when LiAngelo is getting ready to get out of, no, it's Lonzo. When Lonzo's getting ready to drift out of the league, that LaMelo will have enough, or there will be enough there that you get a Thanasis deal. You get the scholarship.
Ooh. Oh, you think he's going to be that good enough? I like that.
If he's the build around, if he's the core guy of this young, exciting team that fancies themselves OKC in waiting in Charlotte with Khan and so then what?
Okay, well, buy or sell. Are you going to say that it's going to be one of the Ball brothers, or is it going to be one of the Knibble brothers?
Ooh.
I mean, are we gonna see the fly?
Are going to be playing on their own.
True.
Is it going to be the flying Knipples down there?
So
in
many
Charlotte?
Knipples, yeah.
There's a chance.
Are we going to find
Khan might
Pager
not be
there?
the best in the family, and Khan could be the rookie of the year and not be the best in this family. The other brothers might exceed him.
Well, that's a good question. Now, we did think the same with Giannis's brother. At least I did. It's like when Giannis is becoming a great player, I'm like, oh, how about I was young? What about Kostas? What about, would you guys hear about Alexis? He's the best of all of them. And it didn't really turn out that way. But
by the way, did you see Melo crash into his coach? Did you see the collision on the sideline?
No, I didn't see. He took out Charles Lee.
There was a ball squirting towards the scorer's table. I think it was just last night. And Charles Lee kind of took a couple running steps to get it. And from the other side, LaMelo comes hustling in, and they collided.
Oh, man, he gets rocked.
Melo left the game, and like the coach had to apologize and like, I'm sorry, I lost, I shouldn't have been doing that, but that was almost a catastrophic collision with Charles Lee.
Yeah, it was. But the best thing is Charles Lee, I mean, kind of takes it like a G. He leans up on the scorer's table. He catches it a little bit in the chin, no pause, and then immediately takes the 3 steps and I think kind of inadvertently suns LaMelo Ball as he stands over him after just Ronnie Lott taking him out across the middle. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was quite the highlight. I saw
that is a shot across the bow. Yeah, the Hornets are potentially the hottest team in the NBA. Crazy to say. Drew, part of the reason why I think some of us may have missed that or maybe saw it the most was since it got that hot standalone time slot of a 2 p.m. tip-off on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be upset with the NBA trying to bogart in on a little bit of baseball territory. Like, hey, they play baseball day games all the time. Why don't we play a random NBA game to drum up some potential gambling action at the Potawatomi Sportsbook? Gave you some reason to hit the app yesterday during the middle.
And I think a lot of people just haven't paid attention to the Hornets, just assuming they're not that good. And they're starting to turn it around. They're still
like 7 straight, I think.
Yeah, they're still under 500 though, right? Like,
I mean they're the 11th seed in front of the Bucks.
Yeah.
So
they're starting to.
they still have a ways to go before we crown
but
them.
it's like people are like, this is like the beginning, the infancy of the OKC type dynasty.
These are the fun days when everyone's when you start to show promise and everyone shows excitement
and there's not expectations.
There's not expectations and there's not
it's all
entitlement.
new and exciting, and you're watching stars. That's it. Yeah.
My wife's got Brandon Miller in a parlay, and I'm like, man, I've never been more attracted to you. She's trying to figure out why he can't get 28.5 points, rebounds, assists.
Oh my god,
he's been leading the team. I think he's still their team leader in points, isn't he? They have like 4 guys. They remind me of that. I
was just saying they got really good, young, exciting players that could be
Bridges,
cornerstones.
Colin Sexton. I mean, you think of. This isn't Hornets talk.
Sexton's been passed around,
but I'm just saying he's doing okay this year. I mean, you think of like the old Hawks team that Budenholzer had that won a bunch of games, but they didn't have one guy that was dominating the scorebook. They had like 5 guys. They had like all 5.
The one that made Kyle Korver an all-star when all 5 of the starting 5 was, and they ended up shutting the box on the month of February.
Yeah,
like they got some fun talent. It's definitely an interesting one. I do love the fact that somehow, some way, Adam Schefter was not on the site and not on scene for ESPN. And they said, hey, I don't care whatever jet we're flying, wheels up, whatever one of our partners is flying all these guys out to Santa Clara and potential whatever car service is taking them and shuttling them all over the place this weekend. Get Schefter on the phone right now because somebody messed up and didn't have him on a camera to break this or to break this Robert Kraft news. The producers at ESPN are flustered that they got Graziano on here and not Schefter, that they made him call in to start off the show.
Yeah, that's rough.
Woo!
Yeah, Jeff Saturday's not even drinking from the right cup. He's drinking from the white coffee cup. He's hiding behind the
behind the get up mug.
That's funny. Come on, man. You got to use the branded mug, Jeff. But it must be serious business.
But it is interesting, Drew, like because Super Bowl Radio Row, we learned it last year, and this is the anniversary of us being down there and seeing a lot of it. I thought it really picked up here on Tuesday, and then by Thursday or Friday was kind of starting to die out and really losing a lot of steam.
The dynamics have changed.
It seems like this year, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, everybody is hitting it as hard as possible. Maybe that's because they're respecting what's tonight. Maybe it's because they're respecting what tonight is. And what might be the new tentpole event on Super Bowl week in insert random convention center nearest the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl games take center stage tonight, and everybody's getting out of the way and laying out for the Pro Bowl games tonight. You got some viewing pleasures ready tonight?
And by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet. Tomorrow, there's a Goody Press availability.
Yeah, we're finally getting it.
They weren't supposed to be. I thought they're not making an announcement. They're just confirming what's already been announced. So Goody's availability, like usually they don't want you to do media stuff during we're supposed to be talking about the Pro Bowl games on Wednesday, not a Packers press conference.
Yeah, they're not. The NFL can't love this. But they sent out the Gannon press release yesterday that he's officially the new defensive coordinator. But we finally get to hear from Goody. We finally do, and I'm excited for the amount of conversation we're going to get out of that on Thursday.
Oh, no doubt. Much more than we'll get about the damn Pro Bowl games.
Oh, by far.
However,
I can't wait to see this dodgeball game.
Pro Bowl and
Keyshawn
All-Star
Nixon
games
jumping out of the way.
NBA and NHL, they've been diminished to the point where you can't even really bring that up as a Hall of Fame resume anymore because Shedeur Sanders is there.
Oh, I think Shedeur Sanders. Well, listen, maybe
It's a show.
Do you want to know what the biggest shot for the Pro Bowl's credibility was throughout all of this? Not the fact that they're playing flag football, not the fact that they're playing dodgeball, not the fact that maybe the best and most interesting event is going to be watching offensive linemen try to push a sled and take off the weights just to put them back on. No, it's this one that came in overnight for me in Rappaport. One note. Jets quarterback Justin Fields was asked to participate in the Pro Bowl games.
He turned it down.
He declined.
When you're
focusing on his off-season training.
When you're getting turned down by it, is there like the team's turned down
Comeback
the NIT now?
season for Justin Fields.
It's still a free trip. Don't they get something? Why wouldn't you just go? Like, you get
if you want a free
food.
trip, he could go with like Axe body spray or something. There's all these companies.
There's a lot.
There used to be a lot more of that.
And I don't also know if there's anyone that wants to go vacation in San Francisco.
True.
Like, I think if that
really,
we'll talk about this tomorrow.
They want to go vacation. A lot of other.
We'll talk about this tomorrow in more depth. But yeah, the Pro.
They don't want to
Bowl,
go see the Full House.
Let it go.
Spot
away.
Armin.
Let it go.
Hey, come on, man.
All
They got
right,
Alamo Park and everything.
When we come back, your chance to win tickets to see Tim McGraw. We just got the tickets to hand out. We got 5 pair to give away this week. The Pawn Shop Guitar Tour, August 22nd, Alpine Valley Music Theater. We look forward to giving these away. It's gonna be pretty cool. We gave Luke Bryan away last week. This week, Tim McGraw. Your chance to win, your first chance to win, comes up next. You're in the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
She answers. Hope she gets it.
Back on the huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you from headquarters. Reach out to us, 877-794-1973. NicoletLaw.com. Talking text on your path to win tickets to see Tim McGraw and the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour, August 22nd, coming up at Alpine Valley Music Theater in East Troy. Should be awesome. We're giving them away all the rest of this week. Point of clarity from the Department of Corrections, which is another name we have for the talking text line.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, our pal from North Carolina. He said that the reason they put that game at 2 is because of the snow that's melting and refreezing, and we don't have equipment down here.
Oh, well, dang. That probably makes a lot more sense than.
So, usually Martin Luther King Day or like a holiday or something.
And if we're doing this, there was also Aaron in Carolina, North Carolina, that said he never called you a low life, Billy. We read it wrong. So, okay. We got you, Aaron. Don't worry, man. We're not fighting with you, bro. We appreciate you listening.
I definitely would have misread it then. I apologize.
All right. Billy has a
low life
question.
Probably was funnier.
For you Tim McGraw fans or just fans of winning free stuff, pair of tickets to the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour, Tim McGraw, Winchester 49, Timothy Wayne. It's August 22nd at Alpine Valley. Your chance to win right now. Billy, what's the question going to be? And we'll open the phones up.
Today's question for Tim McGraw. Now, there's a lot. There's not one, not two, not three, not four, 29 number one hits for Tim McGraw in his illustrious career. One of which, a 2004 tribute to his former MLB star father, serves as a musical tribute to one Tug McGraw. Name that song. Name that number one tune. Song.
The number one, the song Tim McGraw has that was a tribute to his father. 877-794-1973.
Baller.
We've got Denise on line 1 of the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Denise, welcome to the program. Well, you're in the huddle.
Hi, Denise. All right.
Hello?
Denise. Hey, Denise, you're on the air. You're on the huddle. Huddle up. We got a question for you. A chance to win Tim McGraw tickets. You have a chance to be our first winner. Tim McGraw in 2004 had a number one hit in honor of his father, Tug, who was a Major League Baseball pitcher. Name that number one song.
Live Like You Were Dying.
All right.
Denise confidently steps up into the batter's box. Not afraid like Livy Dunn stepping up into the batter's box against Paul Skeens during his practice. She knocks one out of the park and gets the
Denise,
winner.
You're going to see Tim McGraw, Winchester 49, Timothy Wayne, August 22nd, Alpine Valley Music Theater, East Troy, Wisconsin. It is going to be epic. Denise, congratulations. Thank you for listening.
Hey.
Denise, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Who are you? Do you have an idea who you're going with? Are you gonna allow somebody to go in, or do you already have a friend that's gonna be the potential plus one?
Maybe my husband.
Maybe.
You don't want to commit to that.
Maybe.
Come in,
Maybe.
all bidders. Take all bidders.
Denise, I think you got these tickets in hand. It's whoever's nicest to you during the summer.
Right.
Open it up.
Because it's going to be through the summer. This isn't until August,
you've
right?
got 6 months of negotiating power here if he wants to go to this concert.
Hold it over his head.
Winner.
Clean the basement, clean the garage, clean the driveway, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Denise,
well done,
thank
Denise.
you for listening. Hang on the line so Armin can get some information, and we will get you those tickets. People win by listening to the huddle. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you.
All right, tell your
Hold on.
friends
Let's
you
ride.
won with Billy and Armin and Drew.
Now, I'll be honest. Tim McGraw, good sports background, right?
Huge.
Like a really good sports background. Not only starring in The Blind Side, which might have a chance in here. I did not realize that him and John Bon Jovi shared something in common. Former minority owners in once riveting arena football league.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Formerly the owner of the Nashville Cats, spelled with a K. That team had to have been partying down there in Nashville,
Absolutely.
playing at Vanderbilt's campus. That not even the Bridgestone where they'll play hockey on Broadway. In the time when Drew, people that really enjoy music will tell me that Nashville was fun to go to. Now it's much more of bachelorette parties, a little Times Square-y. That was when it was true honky tonks all over the place. I can assume early 2000s.
Now, Tim McGraw's father was Tug, but he didn't know that till age 11.
That's crazy.
He thought his stepfather was his father, and then he found out that Tug McGraw, and they had an icy relationship at first, but later in life, they reconciled and they were close. And then that's why the song came about.
That's a really, really good story. And one that, listen.
Sounds like its own movie.
No kidding.
And then his life with Faith Hill is like they're kind of the first couple of country music have been since, well, it's like Johnny and June.
Yes.
Johnny Cash and June Carter. Like Faith and Tim been at it a while.
For a long time.
And they lasted longer, it would appear, than Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman.
I was going to say, and I did have to check on our girl Shanna when that news came down, because she was hurting that day of the Keith Urban news. The Keith Urban news was one to hurt. Tim McGraw, faithful young man, and one to definitely enjoy. But I will say, this is going to be a fun one to be able to get enough different questions from. That Live Like You Were Dying song, there's every single probably high school guy that maybe has a pickup truck at some particular point in time goes through like late senior year, right when you start getting really sentimental, Drew, about everything. And you start playing the Time of Our Lives song by Green Day all over the place, Good Riddance.
Big time.
And that Live Like You Were Dying song starts hitting you a little bit different. I am gonna miss these guys. I just need to live one summer. Like never have another one again. And we're gonna enjoy every bit of this.
There's a prop bet for you. What songs will Green Day play in the halftime show with Bad Bunny?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Are they gonna be a part of it?
I believe so.
Now I will, and I just want to put this out here right out of the gates, because there will be all the Super Bowl halftime show response and reaction. And I, for one, love Super Bowl halftime because of when it lines up, Drew. It's the perfect bedtime. So I probably won't see any of it, but it is in no way, shape, or form me trying to make a statement of, I'm not watching this.
I corrected.
I wasn't watching that nonsense.
Green Day is opening the show, scheduled for 5:00. So they're performing.
Oh, they're like a pregame show.
Like the pregame show.
Oh, damn. Okay. That'll be good.
The pregame anthems are Charlie Puth, Brandy Carlisle, and Coco Jones. But yeah, Green Day is going to open the show because they're a Bay Area band.
It was heard on these airwaves on Fox Sports Wisconsin, 9:20 a.m. in Milwaukee and 10:70 a.m. in Madison on the Dan Patrick show last week. He had Rich Eisen on, who obviously face of NFL Network, going to be headlining their coverage. Did you guys possibly catch how long the NFL Network's pregame show is going to be on Super Bowl Sunday? Do you have any guess? Do you want to venture a guess as to how long the Super Bowl pregame show on NFL Network
fire up at
that Rich Eisen is going to host is going to be
8 a.m. our time?
A tick later.
Well, because this is a weird question. I was going to say 9 or 10 a.m.
I think 10 a.m. because I believe he said 8 a.m. on the West Coast. They'll fire up for the 2:30 kick.
10 a.m. for us.
So 10 a.m. for us. A little later, so they can kick their feet up on that NFL game day morning. Generally, they start up at 6 out on the West Coast.
Well, yeah, but it is NFL Network,
and he'll fire up 3 different outfit changes potentially. He said throughout the day before kickoff at 2:30.
I love that. Well, you got to find a meal in a bathroom at some point too. I love that. The thing is with NFL Network though, and I understand there's an official pregame show. The whole network, the whole channel is about football, and so I'm sure. It's like, where does it start? Where does it end?
Sure, pregame show kind of started now, is what you're saying?
It's constantly happening. It's sort of like, this is a weird metaphor, but stick with me here. It's like if I go to the barber shop and I ask them to, trim my neck hair, and they go through it every time. Like, where does the neck hair start and the back hair start? Like, where does the neck hair end and the back hair start? It's one long cycle, it just kind of goes. So they don't really know where it starts and ends. So it's the same idea with the NFL Network pregame show.
When you've got a furry Armenian producer, I don't know where the neck hairs.
That's what I'm saying.
Where does the neck hair turn into the back hair and the chest hair?
So in theory, the NFL Network pregame show, just like in theory, my neck hair could be going all the way down the back.
That just reminds me, because we were talking about The Sopranos yesterday.
That reminds you of something.
It reminds me of the Sopranos discussion we had with Maddie Vasgersian. Like, Maddie, what would your Sopranos name be? And we came up with Maddie Backhair. That's back when we used to call Billy Schmid was Billy Muscles. That was his Sopranos name, Billy Muscles. But then it was, Maddie Backhair was Matt Vasger, and he came up with that himself. So.
As our
Maddie Backhair, you got to know. He probably knows more than anybody. He's got to keep up with it. He's got to groom it.
Backhair.
Matt knows. As Armenians, we have a few superpowers, and that's one of them.
The back hair is one of them.
That's one of them. The nice thing was for me, if
that's fun one to sprout.
If I'm talking to an Armenian girl, she's not gonna be shocked by anything.
Well, that's true. That's true. Is that why you were on Armenians?
That's true.
That's why I did better work in the Armenian community with girls.
And at summer camp. Now, Armin, I do have to ask you this one. As Overreaction Tuesday is the question on the 4-letter network. They were asking an overreaction or not an overreaction. Drake May will be the best quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft. And the
Oh,
answer
gosh.
on the 4-letter network, people said was an overreaction because of a certain someone
Yeah.
that they believe went number one.
Yeah.
It's going to be better.
Which I think is funny because that seems to change every year, right?
Oh, man.
It's not an overreaction, but I think it's very much possible that it could be Caleb or one of these other guys.
You got a ways to go, Drew, if somebody's going to a Super Bowl in their second year.
Well, that's the thing.
Holy Dan Marino.
How do we
Start
judge
up.
success?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I'm in a time warp here because we have ESPN on one TV and ESPN2 on the other. And I watched Jeff Saturday and Dan Graziano arguing about stuff. And then Jeff Saturday's live on Get Up at the same time that this tape segment is playing on ESPN2. And now,
where's Good Morning America?
And
how
Drew,
did that happen?
For you, they had one of your favorite stupid questions. The literally question was, which team needs Giannis to win a title the most?
My God.
What does that even mean?
Well,
the Bucks.
But here's another one. This is another ESPN topic. Which team's more likely to play to make the Super Bowl next season, the Patriots or the Seahawks? Can we play this one first?
Yeah, no.
What, we've run out of stuff to talk about for the game that's less than a week away?
No, but Fanatics needs to know so they can get the jerseys ready.
Yeah, they don't want to be blindsided again.
Oh, my God.
What a horrendous statement. We really didn't realize these teams were good and people would want their jerseys. We're sorry. Sorry about it.
Yeah,
bring us NFL Pro Line and put us out of our misery.
NFL Pro Line. I mean,
All right.
Apex. I mean, bring all the goods
we
back.
appreciate everybody that's interacted with the
Majestic.
show today. All of you out there who got up early with us, all of you who are pumping up our streaming numbers and soon to be our ratings. Thanks to everybody.
Yes,
but our most valuable listener today has to be Denise, who won the Tim McGraw tickets on the first try because she's the happiest person. out
She
there.
repeated that email address to me 4 or 5 times.
Denise
Make
is
sure you
just-
got it right.
She's on cloud 11
she's
right
excited.
now.
That yell, that cheer that we got from Denise, that is rocket fuel for the week.
Yep.
That excitement,
Dude.
that energy is exactly what we needed.
You mentioned John Bon Jovi and his ownership of the Arena League team and stuff. John Bon Jovi, Tim McGraw. It's country, it's rock, but women of a certain age will just melt at the thought of even being in the same state as one of those two icons.
Drew, they maybe a couple of years ago did the joke that Armin and I were at the Backstreet Boys concert with our significant others, with our wives, when they said, this was the point in the show where we used to take our shirts off. Now that's more embarrassing than hot. So we're going to do it behind a changing
that was
table.
funny.
These two probably did that 15, 20 years ago.
Good bit.
But I think there's a certain group that is still going to remember those
Tim
90s
McGraw's always
shows.
been jacked.
Ripped up, dude.
He
He's
stays
ripped.
right. Yeah.
He's ripped, absolutely.
He's going to a certain spot.
When we come back, we're gonna close up Buy or Sell Tuesday on the program, spin through some stuff, see if we've missed anything, left anything on the table, and let you get about your day. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Wouldn't it be funny if you put Zaba?
Oh, the huddle. We're just getting a good lather going, and it's time to slide down the back of the dinosaur.
It's crazy how quickly this happens,
Right.
dude. I just do not get it.
Admirals tonight, playing a little puck tomorrow. We'll talk to John Greenberg, El Jefe, president of the Admirals. Armin's working tonight. If you're going to the Admirals game, you'll see Armin on the Jumbotron. What's the nap schedule for you to be ready to have your energy level high when the puck drops at 7?
I usually like to, good question. I usually like to nap, not too early, but not too late, and when my daughter naps. So I'll probably be napping from like 1 to 3 or 1:30 to 3:30. I would say something like that.
That's perfect.
Get down there, stop at Potawatomi Sportsbook at 4:30.
Ooh,
get to the arena at
dinner.
5:30. Yeah, maybe a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit of
maybe a little first period action.
Well, I got to check out because you can bet Admirals now at Potawatomi
Yes, you
Sportsbooks. I got to check out how I can, because the Admirals, I'm sure going to win. I always pick them to win. So I got to pick up on
as
that.
an insider or an
props.
employee, aren't you ethically barred from betting on the games that you're
I don't know.
When you have access?
No, I don't know.
You're at ice level.
Okay,
That's never stopped me before.
I don't know anything about the team. I mean, I'm watching the game.
You're an employee. I would check your employment contract. We'll ask El Jefe, but you should not.
All right, you know
betting
what?
on
Let's put it this
I just
way.
wouldn't say it loud.
Let's put it this way. I'm not going to bet on them.
People can bet on the Admirals, but not you.
People can bet on them, but not me. All right, I didn't say anything about that. All right. Well, anyway, my point was
you're just making the bet for me because I'm not going to be able to get down there because
and you do it as well.
What about you?
You can't. You guys can't bet on.
What do you
Admirals.
mean? Well, I'm not there
tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, I'm not there tonight. I'm not there tonight.
All right. All right.
I might be across the road. I might be across the street at Bucks and Bulls tonight, which will be. Listen, I don't know how many Bulls fans are wandering up here on a Tuesday night, but that should be an interesting contest coming up at the arena.
Bucks Bulls tonight. Bucks Pelicans tomorrow.
Ooh.
Back-to-back home games at Fiserv Forum. The market is correcting because the Bucks were on the road for like most of December.
A couple wins. Let's get a couple wins. Why not? Come on, you got to believe.
Tomorrow night, probably
they got to get up off the
more.
deck.
Yeah, tomorrow night might be a little bit more likely. Tomorrow night is the interesting one for the Bucks, where you kind of want to have a wandering eye on what the Pelicans end up doing because the Bucks will end up getting the worst of the Pelicans and Bucks draft picks coming up. Well, Pelicans are sitting at 13-39, so they're holding up their end of the bargain for getting into the lottery and making it potentially both opportunities that maybe a top 5, top 6, top 7 pick.
Bucks are also home. They had 3 home games this week.
Yeah, they're home this weekend, correct?
Yeah, they got the Pacers.
Well, that's a game that I know Armin is just dialed in for.
We're going to beat somebody. Let's beat the Pacers. It's like when Marquette beat Providence this year. I was like, listen, this is the silver lining here of this year. So let's try and at least beat those teams.
Cam Jones getting any run?
I really haven't looked, to be honest with you, Billy, but I think he's
averaging just a modest 1.6 points a game.
Yeah, but minute wise, let's see what he's doing here. I could check.
He's clocked in only 13 games.
Bucks are home Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Friday will be the Pacers at Fiserv Forum the day after the trade deadline.
Now that's that's an interesting one. Out of which games would you want to be at this week, right? Because Big Fella will be there, right? Big Fella will be on the bench tonight, I would assume.
You would think.
I would assume. And then tomorrow night, potentially there'll be a nice little groundswell. And I'm excited to see, when the camera will most likely pan over to Giannis at some point, what receptions will be. I assume there'll be a nice little loud cheer, maybe when he walks in, waves to the crowd. And then on Friday will be an interesting one. When they are hopefully showing him on the Jumbotron, because we're all right here on this show and he's still on the squad. And there's a good reaction there and a nice little pop.
Bucks beat the Bulls 112-103 in Chicago on December 27th, aided by Giannis's 29 points.
Yeah, he was playing. So,
and that was the night when he slammed right at the end and started the little kerfuffle at midcourt.
Right,
that was it.
That's the night where he said, "If we got to beat Grimy in the bat, we're fighting for our lives. We got to do it." That was an interesting moment in the year.
Was his subsequent calf injury the sports gods exacting their revenge for that act? I bet Bulls fans are saying that.
I don't know.
There's Bulls fans that right now, Drew, it sounds like more are just upset that their team doesn't want to trade for Giannis.
There was that news from one of the. There was
Luke
that
Canales
tidbit,
is steadfast on it. He's like, "There's no interest here," and everyone around Chicago's like, "Wait, why not?"
Well, apparently,
why is there not?
Apparently, Lou and Giannis are involved in the same restaurant group, so there's a thought that he might know something. But yeah, why wouldn't you want that? Like, I don't get that.
But they got a young core. I don't listen. They've had the same brain trust there in Chicago for a number of years. That you want to talk about a team that has kind of been resigned to where they've sat in the NBA hierarchy for a long time. The Bulls kind of have, and now it seems like they have some young players that can gel a little bit together. I don't see them blowing much of it up. It's gonna be hard for a lot of teams to do so right now. Again, further reemphasizing why Friday night against the Pacers at Fiserv Forum.
Right.
I think you're seeing a sweet tip of the hat and a wave from Giannis to the crowd as he remains a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. For how long, we'll find out.
Right.
But I can't see it as Shams is once again trying to beat that drum sitting here on the 4-letter network of how ready he is for his exit.
Tomorrow on the program, Hot Take Hump Day, along with El Jefe. We'll get the report on how Armin does on the Jumbotron tonight from the Admirals game at Panther Arena.
And how he doesn't do it.
I'm not betting him. No, you guys got me
I don't think
nervous.
you should bet him. If you like that gig, I would say probably not. Don't place any wagers. You don't want the appearance of impropriety.
Right, but I'll bet on Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
Do what you want.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. Congratulations to Denise for winning the Tim McGraw tickets. We'll have more tomorrow. Time for us to get out of the way and make room for the heavyweights, Dan Patrick and Colin Cowherd. Have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow.
Peace.